Welcome to the 2026 First In, Last Out Sports NHL Draft Guide. This guide will absolutely be 100% accurate with no misses. We
I
have
agree.
we've got Austin and Ryan here. The way this video will work is me and Ryan did a ton of scouting. We have this is going NHL GM mode style, so players will be tagged with an overall and a potential. Me and Ryan independently assigned each player this overall and potential, and then we're gonna have a discussion on each player to come to a median grade and median potential. So that's the layout of it. Austin's gonna mediate and lead our conversation. So Austin, I'm gonna turn it over to you here to get us going.
Oh Lord. Okay. So the number one player on most boards right now, Gavin McKenna. How do you guys have him? Do you have him number one ranked, or how do you have that going?
Yeah, we both have him number one.
Yeah, but when we were sitting there, and Ryan, you had me like lay out my order. The reason it took a minute is because going between him and Stenberg was what was taking a minute. Because so let's start with this. I have him as 79 overall, low franchise potential. How's he looking on yours?
I have him at 78 overall with high elite potential.
I see. So, I mean, overall wise, we're pretty much there. I guess we'll have to just land on a number by the end of this year. And potential wise, I'd say there's a pretty big difference between low franchise and high elite there. So we got to figure out what to
Yeah.
land on there.
Well, I don't know. What do you see him like being? I guess is the main question.
Well, I
Like
guess what
most likely scenario, not just pure ceiling, just most likely.
all right, so missing out on pure ceiling, most likely I have to assume, and we'll get to this in a second, I have to assume his defensive game won't be as low effort as it was the majority of his time at Penn State.
It Some of it is bad footage.
Yeah, some of that was really tough. Most likely I would say he will be a first line winger that will have maybe three peak seasons as long as he has another superstar with him. I'd say that's most likely. And I think that lines up with where he most likely will go in the draft too, with Matthews with him.
Yeah, that's fair.
So what do you mean by three peak seasons?
So like, I don't know, like he'll have three seasons of right around and probably over 100 points. I'd say I feel pretty confident in. I guess Ryan, what were some of the weaknesses you saw in his game that you kind of want to see him change going forward?
Well, like you mentioned, definitely the effort. I mean, there were times where it wasn't too bad, like especially when Penn State was playing in the playoffs. He did show a little bit more effort in the back check and stuff like that. But I still think he was just chilling at the blue line a little too much in the D zone, and he could be too individualistic at times too. But I guess that's what most 17-year-olds that are that skilled do. But I think for me, I usually just reserve franchise potential for like absolute sure thing, immediate superstar type. But I guess that might be more for like the medium and high franchise.
I get what you're saying. Like if a guy's a franchise player, he should come in and compete at a high level in the
Yeah, like I
NFL
think
right away.
McKenna is going to get like 50 points next season.
If I can interject here real quick, the
Absolutely.
way you described his like three peak seasons, I wouldn't consider that in the franchise tier
I suppose that's a good
personally.
point too. Yeah, no, that's a good way of looking at it. Franchise player, like okay, let's name a few. Obviously, you got McDavid, um, Celebrini, like the top guys. Those guys are going to be. Celebrini's going to do this for many more years,
Oh
and
yeah,
McDavid's been doing it. All right, I guess I could be talked to change it. Ryan, you said he's at high elite.
Yeah,
Okay,
I'd be comfortable around that area, high to medium elite.
okay, yeah, I can be talked on that. And then honestly, overall, why 79, 78? I'm not too picky on either way. I'll
Right about it.
start. I'll start with my pros on Gavin McKenna. I wrote down that he has elite hockey offensive IQ. I wrote down that he has high end playmaking. He is very deceptive, and there's a few things I noticed like they're kind of specific to him and his like skill set. I also wrote down puck skills and handling, along with edge work and agility, because he's not like he's a fast skater, but he's not like straight line
Hmm.
He's
kind
got
of fast.
edges, really good
Yeah,
edges.
he just turns like red elite edges in ESHL. That's literally like the closest thing to LT in this draft is probably the way McKenna skated on the ice. And then I wrote he has a doggometer within him, and this could be a con if he does not fully mature. Because he's got that cocky, like, I'm the best guy in the ice mentality, but there's ways where that goes wrong if he doesn't become like a grown man, you know?
Right.
Um, those are my those are my pros. I do have like notes to back all these up that we can get into, but Ryan, I want to hear what notes you had down as some pros to McKenna's game.
I pretty much had all the exact same things. I think he has the best hands in the class.
Agree.
He's probably the second highest IQ forward, I would say. Um, I'd say he probably does have the best like playmaking vision though, for sure.
I
And yeah, like
agree.
you said, his skating was pretty good. I think he has an underrated shot as well.
I wish like he's just so pass and create first that sometimes I feel he
Yeah.
does pass up on some good shooting opportunities. And I liked what you said earlier in this, where in the playoff game, he 100% was back checking more and playing sound defensive positioning more. Like I think there's a defensive game in there if he chooses to put his energy towards it.
Just when to use it
Yeah.
and how hard he's going to use it.
Yeah. So I guess we can move into some pro comps here. Like I said, I kind of put a spectrum for him. Um so if it's a lower end and his weaknesses don't develop, I put him as Ryan Nugent Hopkins, who still had a 100-point season playing with some really good players. And then a median outcome is kind of funny with where I think he'll go in the draft. I just put Mitch Marner. Um, Obviously you lose Mitch Marner and you draft a guy who has a median outcome of being Mitch Marner is kind of funny to me. And then higher end, if the rest of his game develops, I went with Kucherov, which I've seen some other people do as well. But that's as much as I despise the human, not I shouldn't say the human, but his antics on the ice sometimes. Kucherov should be reserved as a very rare comp for a prospect.
Yeah, I like those. I had a lot of similar thoughts. Like with Kucherov, I think that's like the super ceiling. And another one I saw, I didn't make up most of my own comps. I saw what other people said, and I decided if I liked them or not for most of them. But one that I thought was interesting was Artemi Panarin as like a
That's
median to kind of case.
I like that. Very similar in their way on the ice there.
Yeah.
I like that. Let's see. I'm going through my notes here, seeing if there's any other talking points. Like a lot of my notes were like from specific moments in games, but we've already kind of touched on that. Do you have anything jumping out from your notes, Ryan? So I guess here I'll touch real quick. So I mentioned like deception in his prose. So McKenna seemed to very often utilize a deceptive release and not exactly to trick the goalie of where he's trying to shoot when he does shoot, but he puts himself and his body, like he positions it to present himself as the shooting threat, but he's just as capable of passing out of this
That
position
positioning
he
as
puts
well.
himself in. And then instead of he positions himself like almost like a triple threat in basketball where he can shoot, he can pass, or he can just deke the guy in front of him and get closer into the net. Like
Hmm.
it's very impressive. Like he almost freezes up for a second in this position. I saw him in multiple times. Kind of like almost dragging the puck to where he could shoot it, he could pass it, or he could just drag it back in and outside a guy. That was one of like the key like hallmark things I saw him do a couple times where he can do anything out of this position on the ice, which is very, very impressive. So that's what I wanted to touch on with his deception there.
Kind of
Yeah,
makes
kind of in
the
line
defender
with that.
think,
Go ahead, Austin.
no, you're good.
I was saying kind of in line with that. I wrote that when he has the puck in the offensive zone, he likes to completely slow the pace down, which really just gives him the extra time to outsmart the closest opponents and find those more complex passing lanes.
Agree.
Kind of makes the defender double clutch his stick and think, okay, do I got to poke here for the pass? Is he going to shoot? Is he going to put it through my legs? Kind of like making the defender think a little bit more than he probably should have to.
Yeah,
as
really just
well.
setting a guy up to. I like what like how Ryan said is like it's his pace. He has the puck. We're playing at McKenna's pace right now.
Right.
In
He's like,
the
I'm
offense.
slowing this game down right now.
Yeah. Or if he can slow it down for a second,
Or
like all right,
speed it up too.
exactly. Yeah. Or we're back going again. So like just to control the offensive side of the ice. That's really why he ended up as my number one is because it just when it's on his stick, he's the best player. But
Yeah,
as we touched on, there's more areas to hockey than just on your stick. But he was so good at it. I think we made the right call putting him at one there. Let's see. Is there anything else we should touch on with McKenna? I feel like we did a decent job, but if you got something,
I
I'm
think the
all,
only thing left is that I'll concede the 79 overall.
oh, it's right. Yeah, we had to agree on one number between the two. So we're
Yeah,
79 overall, but high elite is our final takeaway for McKenna.
yeah, just because I have it as like 78 is kind of the limit of NHL ready. But as I said, I think he'll have 50 to 60-ish points in his rookie year, which I feel like is better than barely scraping in the NHL. Although I do think he could benefit from not immediately playing in the NHL. So I want to keep him lower on that end still, but I think 79 works.
Yeah. So you say like below 80 is still kind of where
Yeah,
you wanna.
yeah.
Okay. All right. I like that. Austin, we missing anything here? Or we sound good on this breakdown?
I think that is pretty good. We just touched on Ryan just got to the NHL ready aspect pretty much. So yeah, I think that's good for Gavin there. The next player on the FILO big board is Ivar Stenberg, left wing out of Sweden for the Frölunda HC.
Beautiful. I'd say he pronounced everything right, don't you think, Ryan?
Yeah, I've never known if it's Ivar or Ivar, but I think either one's fine.
I think I said it both on
Yeah,
different
I don't even know
times.
what you said either, to be honest. I
I'm
think
looking
it's
at
fine.
the all right. Looking at the next team name, that's not happening. So we're gonna
Come
cut the
on.
last team name.
All right. So for Stenberg, I guess I'll start with my grade and potential, then I'll have you say yours, Ryan, and we'll chop it out. So I got Stenberg at 81 overall, high elite potential.
I've got him at 82 overall, medium elite potential, just because I had McKenna at high elite and I wanted Stenberg to be one step below him.
That's a fair point. And you know what? Um, I did the same thing when giving McKenna low franchise because I feel like there had to be a way of showing a higher ceiling for him than
Yeah,
Stenberg.
that's fair.
Um, okay, so how about this? We'll just talk through our notes and then we'll come back to the overall and potential agreement.
Okay.
All right. So for Stenberg's pros, I have elite IQ and I agree like he may be overhyped as a two-way like prodigy, but I still think his two-way game potential due to this elite IQ is definitely there. But I also viewed him more as a offensive player. And what really stood out to me was was his puck protection in the league he
Hmm.
was playing in. It was really impressive. And he turned protecting the puck into utilizing his playmaking ability, which is another pro I have. I wrote down that this guy can be can be a play driver. He has good competitiveness, and I wrote down pro experience as another pro.
Yeah, I agree with a lot of that. I think as far as pros, I think, like I said with McKenna, I think Stenberg probably has the second best playmaking vision in the class, but I think he's overall probably the third highest IQ because we still haven't gotten to my number one.
I'm interested to see what you have for that. I'm like when we get there, I'll be like, oh damn.
And then
Uh,
I'd say Stenberg probably has the second best motor in the class, honestly.
yeah, no, his compete and just going like that's why like his two-way potential is so
Yeah,
high. He just doesn't stop, man. It's so sick.
yeah, and like you said, the puck protection is insane. I don't know
That's
if you guys watching the World Championship games, but it was even more insane there than it was in the SHL games.
damn, that's good competition.
And then my only other pro would be in transition. I think he's just insane carrying the puck through. It's like a free zone entry every time he has the puck.
Agree. And as we've seen watching our favorite team, that's not always the case with some players. So did you have any cons on Stenberg? Like things you want to see him work on, or
Let me read through really quick.
I guess but while you're looking, I'll just fill in real quick. I literally for the con section, I wrote top speed, maybe. I don't know, he's sick. Like that's what I wrote. Um,
Yeah, I mean, I think he's a pretty good skater.
yeah, I was kind of just being nitpicky because I wanted to have something down, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I think the only thing you can say he doesn't have is I don't think he's ever going to score 100 points,
Yeah. And that's
but I don't
that's
think he has to.
yeah. Um, let's see, Austin, what are we missing here in our conversation?
Yeah,
Um,
NHL comps. What do you guys got? NHL comps on Evar.
I'll let you go first this time, Ryan.
I just took the easy way out and said Lucas Raymond.
He was one of my two. Was that the only name you had?
Yeah, I've seen like Tim Stützle around, but I don't know if I really see that too much. I think Stenberg's just a like more physical player than that.
Agree. And I think it's because we both subtly hate Stutzel too.
Yeah, that's probably
Yeah, I
why.
hate.
I have somewhere ranging from Lucas Raymond to Mark Stone, and because I like people talk about Mark Stone's intelligence, um, and
Yeah, I agree.
that's I just see a lot of that part in Stenberg. That if that keeps developing, it's gonna it's just gonna keep going. So one thing I'm really looking for in these players is one kind of who they're playing against, and where Stenberg is playing is incredibly impressive.
Hmm.
And also the puck protection is it's incredible, and like that's something I feel will absolutely translate. And there's a difference between puck protection and puck hog. Stenberg protects the puck and drives it close to the net and dishes it off to a player or finishes himself. It's not puck hog, it's play driving. I feel is what
Yeah, I would agree.
Stenberg does. That was something I really wanted to get across.
I mean, we kind of talked about it already, but like one thing in my notes I wrote is there was never a moment watching him that I felt the lights were too bright.
Yeah, like
And that's a guy playing in like probably the third best league in the world.
all right, so let's settle out the overall and potential. What are you feeling here?
Well, I think Stenberg probably maxes out at like 85-ish points, maybe 90 in like a true ceiling kind of thing. So that's why I have him as medium elite, where McKenna's high. But
Okay.
I'm totally fine having him high elite if you really wanted to.
I think it's important to show the difference in their ceiling. So I think we should settle on medium elite, but also bump it up to 82 overall that you have, right?
Okay, yeah, that works.
All right. And Austin, are we missing anything on Stenberg? Or are we looking good here?
Real quick, how long do you guys think? Do you think he should start right away? Or you think he's going to need time to
Oh,
develop in the AHL? How long
right.
do you think?
I think he's at least second line or maybe first liner right
I
away.
figured. I figured.
Feel
All
the
right,
same way,
that's
Austin?
100%. He's my number one.
I
Like I
like it.
said, we're getting into Viggo Bjork here. Sweden center / right wing in the SHL for Digiderangens IF. Go.
That was good.
You
I'm
made it
glad
way
we're
more
making
complicated than it had to be. It's just Jurgarden.
I'm glad we're making Austin do the team name too. That's a nice element here.
I'm excited for the
I
Villeneuve team pronunciation.
Yes. I'm excited for the
who?
name. Yeah, like the name of All right, all right. Austin, where do you want us to start with Bjork here?
What do you guys think Bjork's streak? Whoa, strength is.
Everything.
Yep. That's about what I have too. I I'll just read
He's
them
five
quick.
foot nine. I guess that's the one weakness he has.
So that's the cons I wrote. So for pros, it's literally every part of hockey. I would go the IQ, puck protection, pro experience, shot, passing, compete, defensive ability. It's literally just every part of hockey. Cons, my height. It's literally it. All right, so Ryan, what's your grade and potential on him? And then I'll share mine.
Let's see. I ended up, I was going back and forth a lot on high top six and low elite, but I gave him 77 overall.
Yeah, his skills are definitely. I had him at 76 overall. Medium elite. Do you just want to meet in the middle and have him at low elite there?
I'm good with that. Yeah.
And I'll bump him up to 77 to kind of compensate for going down from medium elite. So
Yeah. I'm realizing I was a little stingy on the potentials.
I think I might have been just a little more giving because I have a couple low elites down there that I saw you didn't have the same exact for, but I saw you liked one of them, so that's fun. So yeah, so for Bjork, we'll go 77 overall, low elite. Let's in our notes. What did you have on him that you want to talk about?
Oh, Bjork is probably my favorite player in the class. He's the guy who I've been alluding to as the smartest.
Good.
I think it's pretty clear,
That,
honestly. I don't think it's really like close.
that was my guess. I just didn't want to just yell it out and be stupidly wrong.
Yeah, I mean, he just like never makes the wrong choice. He's great defensively. Everywhere he's gone, he's been trusted with basically first line matchup center minutes, including the SHL and the Men's World Championships. It's really just that he's 5'9",
Yeah, it's
and I don't really care that much about that.
Such a
agreed.
old person take.
Agreed. 100%. I wrote
Height doesn't matter.
yeah. Me and Austin talk about height not mattering. I like that as well.
Yeah.
I wrote there's like so many I watched 3 games on him, I think, and there were like just so many unique things. I wrote like I noticed him driving the net for like his teammate had the puck. He's lifting the defender's stick going to the net. It's stuff like that. I see him boosting his teammates down the ice like with his stick because he's out of gas, he can't get there. And I know that those are like very unique, not happening a lot, but you kind of touched on the general hockey sense of him. I feel like he just knows what's going on everywhere and he's always engaged no matter what the situation is.
Yeah, he's definitely. I was also alluding to him having the best motor in the class. When I
Yeah,
said Stenberg was too.
absolutely. I wrote also like obviously two-way game here. Um I I noted that he's a power play demon, especially on that one side of the ice. He a lot of his production kind of comes on the power play, at least in the games I was watching. I don't know if that's true for his whole production, but I feel 5-on-5, great. Power play, great. He's smart enough and competes enough to play in the PK as well. I also struggle to find a weakness besides his athletic ceiling, to be honest with you.
Yeah. Also on the power play, I know he was playing. I can't remember which side, but one of the flanks in the SHL. But the men's worlds, because they have Raymond and Stenberg, obviously he was playing the bumper. I actually preferred him there than on the flanks.
Okay, that's an interesting take because I'm not gonna lie to you, I haven't watched many worlds. I was going off of where he was in the SHL. Um, that's good to know. So he can kind of move around because he's
Yeah, definitely.
just that smart.
What are your NHL comps?
Ooh.
What
Well,
do you got your comps?
comps. Mine's a little weird. Ryan, you go first. I want to figure out how to word mine.
I just kind of spammed comps of like short guys that are good. So it's Stankoven, Point, and Benson.
Okay. I can see all of that there. Mine's weird. I wrote smaller but better Frondell because I scouted Frondell last year, and a lot of what Frondell did, he was also good at, but I also wrote he was better at it. Like scouting both of them, I actually compared the notes I had on them. I liked Frondell last year. There were some similarities, but I think Bjork is doing it better than Frondell did last year. Frondell won what, third overall?
Yeah, he was third.
Yeah. I think Frendell definitely has a better shot. But other than
Agreed.
that, I do agree.
Yep. All right. So good on Bjork, Austin.
NHL ready or start in the AHL or stay over? Because they can do that, right?
That's a tough one. I say he could, but at 76 overall, I would say no harm in sending him to play another year.
All right. The next person on the big board is Carson Carrolls, left-handed defenseman from Canada, plays in the WHL with the Prince George Cougars.
Boom! Nailed it. I think, right?
Let's
Right. That sound good?
Yeah. There's another one where I don't actually know the right way to say his name, so that's fine.
well, Tommy said it's good, so let's go. All
Bang.
right. What is Carson's what is his strengths as a left-handed defenseman out of Canada?
Ooh. Start off nice. I like it. Ryan, would you like to go first on your strengths?
So I gotta pull him up on my feet.
You're good. I'll start the conversation then. Right away, his shooting release and accuracy is extremely impressive. I was impressed with his offensive IQ. He can move the puck too, contributing to cycles and also just stretch passes. I saw quite a few of them I liked. I loved his physicality. I am a sucker for like cool things happening, and I think this guy kind of fits right into that. Where he laid my favorite hit out of anyone I watched. I may have obviously missed hits
Yeah, you're
throughout.
missing out on some down the board guys.
Yeah, I figured I with those guys I might be missing out, but at least any of the top guys, uh, Carroll's laid my favorite hit. Very physical, and he's like subtly physical too, like how you need to be while playing defense at higher levels. I thought his the only thing is sometimes his decision making maybe a little bit aggressive. I wrote down as a con. Defensive positioning at times I noticed was like it's juniors though, and I know we were talking the other day, Ryan. Sometimes you can just do whatever you want, so it might have been a
Yeah,
little bit of that. But sorry, sticking with the pros, yeah, shooting, offensive IQ, passing, physicality, and overall how he uses his physicality in the defensive zone, I really liked.
yeah, I agree. I think he's probably, I don't know, he's at least up there for best straight up defensive defenseman in the draft already, which is really hard to do coming out of the CHL where you're like asked to be super offensive. And
And
yeah, I agree. His skating is really good. He's got decent hockey sense. I like his shot a lot. I feel like a lot of the D men in this class have insane shots.
I think just a lot of these kids like logged on to like TikTok and just saw like amazing snipes, so like that's gonna be my game.
That's me.
But I agree with you on Carroll's, and I'm glad to hear you talking about his defensive side. And I feel he pairs his offensive ability with it really well. Like he can be complete, and to get an elite potential for me, you got to have some elite traits, and I feel he comes with that. If you agree, I don't know what your potential was for him.
I said low elite.
Low elite. Okay, so I came in at 74 overall, medium elite. What was your overall for him?
I was 75 low elite.
All right, so we gotta figure this one out. Carroll's is one where I feel very confident in my medium elite potential, but I'd like to hear how you feel.
I don't know. With Carroll's, I don't know. I feel like to be medium elite as a defenseman, you have to have a decent chance of being like a number one in the NHL. And I don't know if I see that for him. I think he could be like a good number two or number three, but I feel like he's just not like, I guess I see he's not dynamic enough offensively for me to be that high on that ceiling.
Oh, I see.
Like, I think Chase Reed is a more dynamic offensive player than Carroll's is.
This is where things are gonna get interesting, Ryan. This is where we have some
I
differing
mean, I don't think
opinions.
Carroll's is like bad offensively. I
I
just think
really
he's taking advantage of the league a little bit.
so I'll give you that. Any junior player, I'll give you that. I just I feel like his shot is not a fluke. Like the amount of goals he scored, you may look at a
I
defender
agree.
and be
I
like,
agree. His shot's good.
yeah, okay, I'll
I
take
just more
that.
mean like puck handling in the offensive zone. I don't think he's like deking anyone out of their shoes or anything.
Okay, so I can agree with that. I'd like to see some growth. I did note like he's not gonna hurt your cycle. Like I watched his team move it around a little bit, and he can move the puck to his teammates while like maintaining offensive zone time. Like he's not it's not just hitting his stick and he's like losing it, you know? At least not the games I was watching. Um,
Yeah.
so to be a medium elite, I agree with you on what it takes. I think he can do it. Let me ask you this, Ryan. If he comes in to the league, say we're 3 years in, 4 years in, whatever, and he is playing the same amount, just about the same amount of minutes as his top pair defensive partner. He's putting up high 50s, low 60s points, and like his defensive metrics are really good. What would you consider that? Because that's what I'm tr like trying to predict here is decent point getter, but also really good on the other end of the ice. I'm curious what that label would earn. What would earn as a label?
Yeah. It's tough to say because it also comes into play for me where like Stenberg, I had his medium elite. And I don't think Carroll's potential is like on that level for me.
Okay,
Although they're
that's
playing different positions, so it's hard to like actually say that definitively.
I. It just sucks because I wish.
But you're pushing harder for medium elite than I would push for low elite, so we can call him medium elite if you want to.
Uh, it's
But I am gonna push for Chase Reed medium elite then.
oh okay, okay. We'll get to Chase here in a second. This is okay. All right. Here's what we're gonna do. Here's let's get into this. Austin, what are we missing that we can talk about real quick on Carol's?
You guys kind of touched on weakness a little bit. We could give him the NHL comp. What do you guys have for his NHL comp?
Go ahead, Ryan.
One that I saw that I thought fit pretty well was Charlie McAvoy as like a ceiling end.
Okay, so the reason I was gonna have you go first is you were smart by saying ceiling then is I'm curious what you think of Charlie McAvoy. Like what would you
Yeah, I would consider him a 1D.
okay. Well, my comps weren't really ceiling plays, they were more stylistic.
Yeah, that's fair.
So okay, and the reason I don't actually like my comp now that I'm looking at it in my face, but I'll still say it. I wrote down Chikrin. It was because I was just in love with this guy's shot, and that's like literally the first name I
Yeah,
wrote
I mean, I
down.
don't hate that.
Um, and I guess we are kind of naming like 1B guys. So how about this? Low elite is what you had for him.
Yeah,
What was your overall on him?
75.
All right, I had the lower over. Okay, so how about we'll go 75 low elite, which is what you had. Because I don't know, we talked about it, and neither of our comps were like elite guys. Like number one guys. I'm sorry, I shouldn't say elite. Um, 1B is kind of who we both went with. Honestly, Chicken might be a little lower because the Caps suck.
Hey,
Yeah. All right, Austin. What's our last one to talk about on Carols here?
NHL ready. Couple years out, year out. How do you think? You think he can jump right in?
I'd say at least a year. Can he play in the AHL? What's the new rule with that?
He's going to North Dakota next
Oh,
year.
beautiful. I probably should have known that. Yeah, okay. I'd say he should go play there for a year.
Yeah, I think he'll play there for a year and then head to the NHL. Yeah, I agree.
All right, sick. Anything from your notes? I know we were talking like our notes are a little clonky, but is there anything you wanted to throw in that you wrote down?
Um, let's see. I said of the top D men, so like the ones we're pretty much about to do. I said he's the most jack of all trades but master of none of those guys. Let's see. Oh, one thing I noticed when he's defending the rush, I prefer defensemen that are kind of like pushing the rusher to the boards. But Carroll's kind of just like glides back and lets them come in towards him. So that's one thing I think you should work on.
Okay, I can agree with that too. Let me look at what I wrote. So I wrote defensively. Continuing. I literally start his defensive like writing, and then I just go into how I love the hit he had. Um, yeah, I guess I didn't write anything about him pushing guys out to the. I kind of just noted maybe a little more consistently overall defensively. Not that it was like wildly inconsistent, but it's also the league you're in. Like I agree with you about just like juniors in Canada. It's hard to like look at the top players and be like, oh, you need to be more consistently responsible when you are just better than everyone on the ice, you know? All right. So I feel we're good on Carol's.
The next guy on the big board is Chase Reed, right-handed defenseman out of the United States, playing in the OHL for the Sioux Greyhounds. What do you guys think about his strengths and weaknesses being?
All right. So as Ryan was just talking about, I'm a little lower on Chase Reed. This was the guy when I was telling you my Brady Martin of last year, where I think he'll be a really good prospect, but drafted
Really?
a little higher. Yeah, and that's why I said it's ironic, that it's my Brady Martin because they were teammates, correct?
That is not who I thought you were talking about.
Just
Yeah,
out of
they are
curiosity,
teammates.
just out of curiosity, who'd you think?
Well, when you first said it, I thought you were talking about Carroll's because of the farm boy thing, but then I thought you were talking about Verhoff
Well, I think okay, we'll get to
just
Ver.
because you have him lower.
Yeah, we'll get to Verhoff. So Chase Reed, let's start with. So, sorry, Austin. What did you ask me? Okay, so for pros and cons on Reed, I didn't want it to like even in my notes, I didn't want it to be a negative tone because I think it's a good prospect. I just like looking at taking him at 3. I don't like it considering I like Carroll's more. Sorry, at 3. Taking him at 2, I really don't like it. Just for the Sharks. 1 Stenberg, 2 Carrolls, and then you can talk me to anyone after that. But let's get into Reed. For me, I guess the big thing I wrote down is whenever he took a risk, it looked like every time it didn't go his way, it was an immediate high quality chance for the other team. And I know where he's playing, it's kind of like, oh, you're the best player on the team. You can kind of do whatever. I just, I felt like if he pinched, it either was like, okay, the cycle's continuing to go, or okay, he was the last guy. He shouldn't have pinched. It's a breakaway on the power play. I noticed one of the games on prospect shifts, or no, this is when we were doing flow, I think. One of the games there, he was the last line of defense on a power play. He tried this move, and next thing I know, it was a 2-on-0 going the other way. So I noticed like his risk management or risk taking, however you want to word it, when it goes wrong for him, it's really high quality chance against. And that's not the only reason I'm a little lower. There were a few like defensive plays where I was just genuinely wondering what this guy was doing. One of the games against Kitchener in the playoffs, I remember, I didn't know, like, the guy was breaking down on him and he is gliding backwards, kind of like how you talk about Carroll's did. And he kind of like put one knee on the ice and he just glided behind his own net. And the guy just had a high quality chance in front. And he like tried poking at it. I don't know. There were a few. That's just an example. I'm just reading my notes, by the way. So that's why it's a little all over. A few examples of that I didn't like. And I do agree. I want to go over to the pros real quick. His offensive instinct, while inconsistent of when to be aggressive, I do see like his passing and like his playmaking ability, and a little bit of that shielding the puck that we've talked about with some of these prospects. I've seen him do it at the blue line a couple times. I wasn't as impressed as I would have liked to been for going into it there.
Okay. I mean, I don't crazy disagree with any of the comments you said. I was reading through my notes at the same time as you were talking. I do have a couple like weird decision or bad turnover, but I just didn't see it quite as bad as you saw it, I guess. And then I think offensively, he's just insane. I think he's at least even, if not a better skater than Carl's. I think he's a better shot than Carl's. I think he's a better puck handler than Carl's. I
I
think they
agree.
have
I agree on the puck
at best
handling.
similar IQ. I think Carl's is just more physical and a bit more, well, not a bit, but he's better defensively. But I think Reed is a decent bit more dynamic offensively and actually has the potential to be like a real number one in the NHL if he keeps progressing. I don't think he's there yet, obviously, but
Okay, yeah, I wrote. Let me get to this real quick. Where is it? Um, so I will say, like a lot of the questions were in the D zone for him, and I do agree of the offensive potential. Like in that Kitchener game, I think he ended the game with a goal and two assists or something like that. Like he does help create a lot on the ice. The shot, I don't know if it was just like the ones I was seeing of Carl's. I felt like Carl's had the notch on him in shooting, but if you wanted to get to like total offensive impact, I could see how Chase Reed impacted your view of him more there. What was your overall on him right now?
74. So I think
Oh,
Carl's is more NHL ready
okay, I
by
can agree.
like a very little bit.
Okay, so
I
I was
think
at
basically, I think they're both going to college for a year and then going to the NHL.
which yeah, 70. So I am at 72 overall, so a little lower. I just one things that turned me off was like when it went wrong, it was so wrong. Like like, but I guess you could coach that. One of the things I wrote down is if my team selected him, I would allow him to still do what makes him good, but I would have him maybe in the film room or something, just looking at his play to realize when it's okay to do this. And I would also really hammer him defensively. There's just so many plays. I shouldn't say so many. There were plays where I questioned like what he was even thinking. I don't know. I know you said you didn't see it to the same degree, but you saw some of it. Um, I know I'm a little all over, but my notes on Chase Reed are a little all over. That's why
I mean, if it
it's
does help your view of him, he's going to Michigan State next year, which is arguably like the best coaching in the NCAA.
that would help. Yeah, 100%. And like I said, I didn't want it to come off as me as a hater. I just I don't think the ceiling is as high as many are saying. And did you have him at medium elite, was it?
I have him at low. I had him same as Carl's.
All right, so I am at top for D high, and sometimes I do this when watching a guy. I don't want to say I make up my mind early, but there's like certain things I'll see and it just really turns me off. That's kind of what happened with Brady Martin last year, and there was just a few Chase Reed plays where I just felt a little turned off. So let me, how are you feeling with your current overall and potential there?
I mean, I obviously like where I because that's what I gave him.
I mean, I figured. Let me ask that. Based after anything I said, did you feel like changing, or do you feel like no, like what you had is
I mean, I like having Carroll's and Reed as the same potential, but I know
okay?
you don't, so I don't know what we're gonna do.
Um, well, Ryan, I trust you, and I trust your hockey instinct there. So we'll
We can give him a lower overall if you want, if we'll
just
give him
want
the
to. What
potential.
was your overall again?
I did 74.
You just want to meet in the middle at 73, and then we'll bump them up to low elite there.
Yeah, we can do that.
Okay, okay. Because I feel like I also didn't fully. I don't know. My notes on him were weird. I feel like I didn't fully back up how I felt while watching him. Like maybe I didn't write down enough specific examples. I had a few, but I'll
On
I'll, I'll
top of the
trust.
games, have you been watching highlight reels at all?
I watched the one Prospect just put out. Yeah,
Okay, I was just making sure because I think like that's a good way to show like offensive ceiling is the highlight reels
yeah,
on top of the actual videos, obviously.
I agree. Austin, are we missing anything I read here? Now that we came to the
You
grading.
guys is NHL comps
Ooh, yes.
for Chase Reed.
You can go
I
first.
took the easy way out again with the one that everyone does, which is Zach Werenski.
So if it helps, I did write like I have Varensky down as if everything goes right and continues to develop. Like obviously,
I agree. He definitely has to develop to get there. I do agree.
I saw it as well, which is why I kind of got in my head. But I also have like I don't know if this is median. I don't really like this one either. I wrote down Ekblad at first, just
I have
because.
that play for someone else.
Okay. Do you see any of all like where I'm coming from? I have a question mark next to it if it helps. This is one of the guys where I just kind of wasn't fully convicted on it. And this is
I don't
like
know. I
a
don't really remember like how Ekblad played not in the NHL. So it's hard for me to actually say, but I feel like Reed is just definitely faster and like more dynamic offensively than Ekblad ever ended up being.
yeah, yeah. I have him as like median slash not fully reached, and then I wrote Ekblad question mark. Once again, my notes on Reed were a little all over.
The next player on the FILO big board is Albert Smits, left-handed defenseman from wherever, probably Latvia maybe.
Yep,
Wherever.
Plays in the Liga for Jakrut. Jakrut?
Eucharist.
Ukraine. Sounds like a card game.
You should see their
Um,
logo.
is it cards?
It's a Joker.
That's sick. Alrighty. I know this is a big guy. Somebody likes this guy in our class, so we want to get into Albert Smits on the strengths and weaknesses of his ability of hockey.
Albert Schmitz from wherever. Nice.
Hey,
So you can kick or Ryan, you can kick us off here.
I gotta scroll down to him. Well, Smeets, you can't deny that he's insanely fun to watch.
That
He's just like I don't even
Ryan,
know what to compare him to. It was hard.
I hate to cut you off. I just want to say one thing. The first sentence, Smeets was very fun to watch, period.
Yeah.
All right, you can continue. I'm sorry, I just want to share that.
I mean, he's a crazy skater and he's also crazy aggressive. I noted like pretty much every single game I watched, I noted like four separate times of times where he would carry it to the neutral zone, he would dump it in, and then he would chase.
I
But
kind of,
that
dude,
also led to times where he gave up on man rushing back the other way.
I think our notes on this guy are quite similar because I'm literally reading what you're saying in my notes right now.
Well, he
That's
did
fun.
it every single chance he got.
I saw someone in one of the videos on one of the shifts of his shifts highlights. I don't know if this is true, but does the team he's on have like a simple hockey system and he's just out there doing this? That's what they said is
I
like
don't know. I could see it for sure. That's kind of how Liga is.
he's just going. Um, do you want to start with grade and potential that you've got?
I actually was higher than you. I gave him 76 overall, high top 4D.
I'm willing to bump that grade up. I have the same potential, top
We
4D
can settle
high.
at 75. Yeah,
Yeah, I'm cool with that. This was what was our overall on Carroll's that we decided? Austin, did you have that?
76.
Okay, I'm cool with that then. Yeah, no, Schmid, he is awesome to watch. He's a guy where whoever drafts him, I think they'll get him there quick enough. So I think our a 75 overall grade, showing that he can probably play in a year or two or soon enough. I think that'll be the case because of how physically imposing he kind of looks out there and just how he moves at that size. It's just fun. It's fun to watch. For his pros, I wrote, well, ability to transition in a little, I don't want to say unorthodox, but it's just looking at him is just so different. I like that the league he's in. I have a little bias towards playing against um grown men there. Offensive awareness, and then I wrote decision making as a pro, but most of the time, and then in cons, it is
Interesting.
the other times of decision making, which I guess I don't know how good of scouting that is, but that's what I wrote down. It's I guess he could be a little more consistent in his decision making, but I agree, man. He can move, he's aggressive, and if this translates, Ryan, top 4D high is very obtainable.
Yeah, I agree. I would say I had his decision making as a con, just because I think he can be too wild.
I wrote it as a pro and a con, so I agree with you.
Yeah,
I
I mean that's
do.
fair.
It was I mean
I thought his puck handling could be better, but I don't think it's like bad. But yeah, the skating and the physicality is just insane.
it's great. It's
It's
awesome to
so fun.
watch. It's one of those guys where when you see the card on Twitter when he's a pro, it might not be the best, but like he's gonna be like a fan favorite, you know?
Yeah, and he's been playing like he's Latvian, obviously. So he's been playing in the Olympics and the men's worlds, and he's been playing in Liga. So he has a pretty high floor already as well.
Agreed. All right, Austin, what are we missing here?
The ceiling for Albert Smits and his NHL comp.
Yeah, so ceiling, I'd say any anywhere in your top four would be good. I don't think he'll be like a true number one per
I
se.
agree.
But with where we are on the board, I'd say that's implied. For comps, I wrote like some style of Cider's game kind of appeared to me with the speed and physicality, but I don't think he'll be. I don't know. How do you consider Cider? Like I have Cider as one of the higher quality defensemen in the league. Like
Yeah.
I just
Yeah, I don't know if I would say that. I know Schmitz like says in interviews that that's who he like models the game after, but
oh, did he really?
I don't know.
I I don't know if like Cider light is the right way of saying it, but like I'm just going off speed and physicality when I'm thinking
Yeah,
about that there.
yeah.
Would you have down for a comp?
I really struggled. One that like I don't really know if I would say it's accurate or if I like it, but I just like randomly thought of it in the one game I was watching. I said Brent Burns, but when they were trying to make him a forward.
That's way more fun than mine. We're gonna put that one. That's so good. I agree. Yeah.
Forward Brent Burns.
Yeah, that's good. Then we gotta just say how many years away from the NHL, right?
Yeah, how long do you guys think till he breaks into the league?
I'd say probably one, maybe two at the worst.
Yeah, agree. Considering like the competition he's in right now and the Olympics, and I agree. 1 to 2. How big is he real quick?
He
Uh,
is 6'2", 209.
Okay, because I,
yeah,
I I
basically
did write
6'3".
down. Okay. I wrote down like mobility at his size, but I didn't know like what his size was.
Yeah, no, I wrote that too.
Okay, cool.
Honestly, even not for size, it's insane. But then you add on his size.
Yeah, it's fun. Um, cool. All right. So that's Schmitz.
All right, the next guy on the big board, Caleb Malhotra, center,
Find him.
Canada, OHL, Brantford Bulldogs.
All right, cool. Caleb Malhotra, I had him at a 73 overall, potential of top six forward high. So his pros, I wrote that skating with the puck, he handles it really quickly while moving. I liked. So I guess puck skills I have next to that. I saw some of that puck protection that we talked about with some of the other players, obviously in a different league, but he shows the trait of doing it sometimes, which is nice. One of his pros is I wrote he plays center, which in this draft will get you
Yeah, definitely fair.
get you quite a ways. I wrote I saw some potential for a two-way game to grow. I liked his positioning in the D zone. Obviously, there's times where he is kind of looking to get ahead of the play, but I'd say generally watching his like prospect shifts video, I liked where he was around the net, both offensively and defensively as a center. Cons, I wrote he kind of I'd like to see him bulk up a little bit because he likes offensively he likes to position himself in front of the net when he doesn't have the puck, and I feel he could do well there if he's a little stronger, a little bigger. I wrote he could utilize his shot a little better because I think it's a nice shot, but he's more of a pass first guy.
I agree. Yeah. Yeah, most of my pros were similar to yours with decent shot. He's definitely a good playmaker. I was honestly more impressed with his defensive game than it sounds like you were. I think he's probably kind of like all the centers that have this class are like that, but he's in the same realm as them defensively, I'd say. York's probably ahead. Lawrence probably is too, but I think Malhotra's right there. Just because he was buried in Brantford before he really took off this year, so he was playing like a third line center role. So he really got like defensively strong that way. And then I don't know what happened, but the second half of the year and the playoffs especially, he was just an offensively insanely talented player.
Yeah, I I guess what I was trying to say when I was talking about his two-way ability is that I see I see it a way for it to continue to keep getting better from where it is right now. Because when I tell you my player comp for him, I hope that that kind of gets across that I do see him as as a two-way center as well as a playmaker. But I do agree 100% on what you said there. All right. So what was your grade of potential for him, by the way?
Mine was 73 overall, high top six forward.
All right. So just you said what was the overall? I'm sorry.
73.
Oh, we have the exact same grade and potential. This is an easy one.
You put yours in as 73 or 74.
Oh, sorry. In my doc, I have him at 73. So we'll
Okay,
just meet
we'll
there
call it
anyways.
73.
I might have accidentally hit the wrong button in the. All right. So I mentioned my comp. I wrote down Bo Horvat of the Islanders in terms
That's a
of
good one. Yeah, I
yeah.
like that.
And I hope that kind of gets across how I view him defensively as well, because I would say Horvat's a really good defensive forward.
Hmm.
Um, so yeah, I think Horvat can play make too, and that's what I see in Malhotra. So what do you got?
I didn't even have one, but I'll still Corvette. That's a good one.
Sweet. All right, and what was it? What's the second part, Austin?
How long you guys think until he breaks into the NHL?
Two ish.
Yeah, I agree. He's going to BU next year.
I could
So,
see it after one if he has a good year there.
yeah, maybe one there, maybe one AHL. Who knows?
Yeah, I agree. Now, question for you guys: do you think they take him at three? The Canucks?
I mean, it depends what the Sharks do, I think.
Yeah.
I think if Stenberg is there, the Canucks will do
Yeah.
that. But I think if Stenberg isn't there, I think they'll take Malhotra.
I agree. Okay, that's a good take. All right, so next up we have Tynan Lawrence out of the NCAA playing for Boston University, and it was the USHL he was playing in before BU, right?
Yep.
Okay, just want to make sure I had that right. So coming into it, I had Tynan Lawrence as a finalized grade from my own side of it at 72 overall, top six forward high. How did he come in for you?
I had him at 73 overall, top six forward high.
All right, so pretty much essentially the same thing.
Yeah.
I'd be fine giving up one overall. Honestly, our first year of doing it like this, I kind of figured it'd be a feeling out process overall wise.
Yeah, I agree. Even the
Um,
potentials are like that too.
yeah. But honestly, so far talking it out, I feel that's been a good way of getting across everything we needed as well.
Yeah.
You want to start with some pros you had for Tynan Lawrence?
One sec. Okay, so for strengths, I had insanely fast. He's one of the youngest players in the class, so that gives him more time to get good. He's very reliable defensively already. He has a high motor. He's a good playmaker. He's actually pretty strong for his size. He's not afraid to be physical. That was my last one.
Yeah, I was going off my list. I'm gonna read it quick. I'm pretty sure it's you covered all these. I wrote compete and forechecking first. I was impressed with that. Like you said, at his age too. Usually the younger players just want to be all skill, which he does have that as well. I wrote down passing and obviously as you touched on his skating, center positioning on both ends and mixing that in with two-way potential. So really, you covered everything there. How'd you feel about his move to NCAA?
I feel like he probably, like for his own benefit, he probably should have just stayed in the USHL, even though he was better than that league. I do, I don't know. I'm a little NCAA biased, so I always like when players make the move, even if he struggled.
Yeah, I when you're in this area of the draft where you're around other like players who dominated juniors, it's tough to look at his production in NCAA, but watching the actual game, there's a lot of things that I liked. And I feel if you played a full season there, production probably would have came at some point.
Yeah, I agree. Like, I think
Um,
if he stayed in the USHL, he probably would have scored like 40 goals or something. Like, he was
yeah,
just insane there.
watching the USHL team he was on. I don't know if I mentioned this to you. After every goal, no matter if it's the last goal,
Yeah,
first
the lights
goal,
go off.
oh, dude, I'm like, sometimes they wouldn't even do like the flashing lights. It would just be a pitch black broadcast. I'm like, what are we doing here? That was funny. Cons, I just wrote NCAA production, and I don't want to call it a con. I wrote down his shot, but I wrote more like shot utilization. Maybe he should just shoot it more
That's
because
exactly what I wrote.
yeah, when he did, I felt it was fine, or it was at least with intent. It wasn't just random selection. I just wish he would select to do it more. Um, so honestly, with the same potential, I'm assuming you're okay locking top six forward high end for Tynan Lawrence here,
Yeah, I'm good with that.
and I'm totally down to go from 72 to 73 on him. Um, I'm just reading through, so he's the first one where my notes aren't like over a page long, which is nice. I know you said you tidied up your notes. Was there anything you wrote besides like pros and cons that you wanted to share?
That's pretty much all I was tidying up is I would literally just make a bullet of strengths and a bullet of weaknesses. But my weaknesses are all the same. I just had rough statistical season after moving to NCAA. I had some questions about like shot selection, and then I said that he should slow the play down, entering the zone sometimes rather than just flying past everybody on his own.
I feel as he gets closer to the NHL and as he continues to play better competition, he's not really gonna have a choice but to kind of do that
Yeah,
there. So this might, so far out of everyone we've done, we might have had like the closest analysis on this player, I think,
yeah.
to
Did you
being
have
the
a comp
same.
for him?
So I'm looking, I don't have one, and I must have just forgot to because I tried doing it for everybody. So who did you have?
I said Ryan McLeod with more skill.
I like it. I really like that actually because I feel he's a floor pick with a ceiling of better than third line center that
Yeah,
Ryan McLeod's playing. I like that one actually. And it's funny, I tried throwing a McLeod comp on some guys. I'm like, man, they're just not fast enough. But Lawrence kind of moves like that too. I like that actually.
I got three more Sabres comps coming.
I I tried so hard to not do all Sabres comps, but it's the players we know the most. Um, the next one, all right. So did you have anything else on Lawrence there?
Let me read through just to make sure that I think I'm good.
Sounds good because I'm excited to talk about the next one. Next up is Wyatt Cullen and Ryan. I was happy to see we were at least in a similar spot watching him. So we both share the assigned grade of 72 overall, so I'm assuming that'll stay. The only thing we
Mhm.
have to talk out here is I threw him a low elite potential, where you threw him a high top six forward potential. So that's quite. Wait, no, that's actually one like spot apart actually. For some reason I thought okay, so high top six, low elite. Let's get into Wyatt Cullen. If you have the notes pulled up, feel free to get started. I gotta pull them up real quick.
Yeah, honestly, the more I've been like thinking about it, I'm I'm pretty fine putting him at low elite.
He's probably one of the more fun players to watch, and I didn't really
Yeah,
expect it.
he's this draft spec at Seneca pretty much.
Hmm. Where he could go like what was it? Where did Seneca go? Number three?
Yeah, I don't know if he'll make it that high, but
No, no. But the idea of him rising.
yeah, the huge growth spurt flying up the draft board.
When I was watching some games on him, the announcers because Logan Cooley went through the same program, right?
Yeah,
The announcer just kept comparing him to Cooley. I threw different comps on him, but I feel that's high praise for a guy flying up the board there.
yeah, definitely.
So what were you impressed most about him with?
My strengths are just high end handling, passing, and IQ. He had a very good shot, and he's a very good skater. And I was also impressed that he maintained all those skills, even though he grew like 8 inches over the last couple of years.
Yeah. I wrote a similar thing on the end there where he seems to be just as fast after getting larger, which is a good sign.
Yeah,
I wrote so you talked about his hands. I wrote hands and puck skills and right next to it I wrote creativity with it. I was impressed with
yeah, I
just
agree.
some of the things he was trying. Um he's the second player I wrote deception on and it's not the exact same move that McKenna pulled out a lot, but he's just deceptive in so many different ways. I like that about his game, and I feel his ceiling is still growing, which is why I threw him the low elite. Like he just kind of hit where he is now, and I feel he's shown enough that the development could and should continue.
I agree. Yeah,
What'd you have for cons here?
I just said that he tended to force unnecessarily complicated plays, which that does kind of come with the territory of being his age and that skilled. And I also had physicality as a weakness. But again, that's he was like 5'8" 2 years ago, so he'll probably get better, especially going to college next year.
Yeah, yeah. My first con is decision making consistency, which I feel is a different way of saying what you said.
Yeah,
Um, did you notice anything in his defensive game?
I feel like kind of just average. Like I wouldn't say he's bad defensively, like a lot of the high skill forwards tend to be in these kind of leagues. But I wasn't like super impressed with anything
That's
necessarily.
exactly. I have a sentence that says not hurting you in the D zone, but not exactly shutting people down either. Just in his position, and you can tell he's waiting to go in the offensive zone with it.
Yeah, he does have that a little bit.
But he's not
Not
as
as bad as some of the
unique
other
as
guys.
yeah, yeah. Let's see. So him, I have a couple comps on, and let's see. So he's another one I threw a spectrum on. I wrote if he busts. So this is if everything goes wrong. You're still getting like a Daniel Sprong or Jonathan Drouin type where it's just they're going to try some things and they're still really good in the ozone, but other areas are kind of tough. I feel he may score more than Drouin, but that's like I said, this is if everything goes wrong, that's how I see it could go. And then I feel a high end or high likelihood of like a Nick Schmaltz kind of player where
I've seen that one before too. Yeah,
yeah, yeah, I feel like that could work. And then I get a little crazy. I would really like to preface if all green lights are hit and a lot of other areas develop, this is why I put low elite. A player like how Nylander plays in Toronto with other superstars. I feel like Colin would have to go to a good situation and play with other elite players, but like the role Nylander plays in there,
yeah, I
um,
can see that too.
yeah, then I would really like to preface that's if other areas develop and he continues getting better. Um, that's the highest end. But yeah, who did you have?
Mine really all I came up with is just like play style when he has the puck was Jack Hughes like I thought.
Yeah, yeah, that's actually really good. Um, let's see. So 70 72 overall. Sorry, that's within our what, two is that 2 years away from cracking the league we have him under?
Should be, yeah. Let me look to make sure. Yeah, it's 2 years.
Okay, cool. I'm cool with that. And So 72 overall, low elite potential for our number 9 player, Wyatt Cullen. I see you already locked it in there. And then I was looking forward to talk about well, real quick, anything else on Wyatt Cullen or
I think I'm good. I'll read through really quick.
yeah, I'll take a peek. Okay, next up, and you can correct me on the pronunciation, Malte Gustafson.
Yep.
Perfect. I want to keep saying Malt, and that's
I thought
just
you were. That's what I was waiting for.
well, I think I used to. Then I watched some stuff on him, and I'm like, oh, I've been saying this wrong. Swedish defenseman, good size, coming out of the SHL. I have him as 69 overall, top 4D medium. How'd you feel about him, Ryan?
I have him at 74 overall, high top 4D.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you.
He's one of my favorite players.
Yeah, it's gonna be really easy to talk me into this. And first of all, I kind of figured. So before I asked you, I didn't look at it, and as you said it, I'm like, this makes total sense. Swedish, playing in a good league, and really good in his own end. Is that kind of what you're?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. I'll let you list off your full list of pros real quick here.
My quick list of strengths is size, skating, high IQ, passing, and just overall defensive play, especially his range.
Yeah. Yeah. So the reason it's so easy to talk me into more of your side of it is I kind of got to him late. This was the day before yesterday. So the day before we started recording these, I got to him late. But my first pro is I wrote elite defensive traits. So if I'm
Yeah, I
throwing,
think you're gonna like my comp for him.
ooh, I have an interesting comp for him too. Wait, can I guess your comp for him?
You can. You'll probably get it, but
Nah, is it a saber?
it is.
Okay, is it Matthias Samuelsson?
It's Matthias Samuelsson, but with better skating.
Sick. Okay, I thought about throwing Samuelsson. I'll throw my comp. I went with Adam Larson.
Yeah, I can
S
do that.
Size and really good defensive traits. I do think there's a world where Gustafson moves the puck better than Adam Larson, which is more
Yeah,
the
that's what I was
Matthias.
gonna say.
Yeah, more that'd be more Matthias Samuelsson, you think?
Yeah.
I like it. I'm so in on the top 4D high. You don't even have to convince me. I'm in.
All right, sweet.
I'm here. And I don't know why I had his overall. Truthfully, I don't know why his overall was so low on my end of it here. What did you have him at again? I'm sorry.
74. So 1 year away on the very bottom of that range.
All right, I was at 69.
We can meet down a little bit and call him 2 years away if you want.
But here's the thing, he's playing in a pro league right now. I'll go two, but you want to go on the higher end of two?
Yeah, we can call it 73. So he's the
Okay.
top of the 2 years away range.
Yeah, I agree. And honestly, if I got to him earlier, I would have been closer to being in right away. But in my notes, I wrote elite defensive traits, which I'm in on the potential, truthfully.
Now my next question, can I move him above Navani and Lynn?
I feel his ceiling's definitely higher than Lynn and higher than Novotny. Yeah, if we're giving him high top four, he'll have a
I mean,
higher
I
over.
actually want to put him I want to put him between Cullen and Verhoff, but I don't want to take over.
Okay. Let me look at this real quick. So overall wise, we're giving him what? A 73?
3.
Okay. That's higher than Verhoff and same potential. So it makes sense to put him above Verhoff. And my only question to you, so bell shades I'm cool as well. High top four is better than medium top six. We just have to figure out what do you value more, a higher floor and still good potential, or the low elite of Villanelle?
I value Gustafson more.
Okay.
But if you want, we can do like this.
So move it. Okay, yeah, yeah, yeah. I would rather because low elite's better than high top 4D for Verhoff, and the overall is only two apart.
Yeah,
So I'm cool with that. That feels like good middle ground for who we both like. And honestly, I'm not surprised you and I both disliked or are a little lower on Verhoff for the same reason. So I'm cool with him there. High top 4D is still better potential than medium top six for Belshade, so that's okay too. And there's a world where I'm about to ask you, do you want to put Ryan Lynn above Belshade?
I'm down for that.
Because high top 4D I would value over medium top six, and they're same overall.
Yeah, I mean that's how my ranking is.
Yeah, all right, I'm cool with that as well. The thing is, I if I have high quality traits down, it's very easy to talk me into bumping up their potential. Gustafson, I wrote elite traits, and Ryan Lynn, I wrote with his hockey IQ. So I'm okay with him having what he is as well. I'm cool with that. So we still got to talk a little bit about Gustafson. I know we talked about the comps that we had, and I don't think, did you have any weaknesses that you saw? Or is this just you're fully in, this is a
I
really good
just
player?
said offensive ceiling.
Yep. I wrote he may be undervalued due to this, potentially. Um, but I wrote offensive ceiling limited. And but the thing is, no, yeah, no, that's good. Sorry, I was reading my own notes and I didn't tidy them up like you did. So I thought I saw something I wanted to talk about, but it's pretty much one of the strengths we already talked about. I think he'll be an elite penalty killer and very likely I don't know why I didn't give this guy high top 4D. I wrote I am highly confident he will play high minutes in a top 4D role and be an elite penalty killer.
I was confused why you didn't like him so much.
It was just because I got to him late, but literally reading my notes, I said the word high minutes and like high top. I should have just what an idiot, man. Yeah, no, I'm good. I'm good where we have him. That's cool with me. And we did the comps, we did the overall. Is there anything? I know I'm just kind of rambling here. Is there anything you wanted to add it on Gustafson?
I think I'm good. Yeah, it's kind of just like what you just said that I'm just confident he'll be good because he moved into the SHL this year and he was playing on a bad team. He was playing over 20 minutes a night and he was still really good.
Yeah, no, watching. So with him, I got to him late. I got one full game, the one on prospect shifts, and then I like watched a highlight reel and a little bit of like someone talking about him. And I guess a part of my thought process is if I don't get like maybe a full experience out of a guy, it's hard for me to give him a higher grade. I don't know. I think I may have just kind of missed even reading my own notes when giving him his grade. So Ryan Lynn, defenseman out of the WHL Vancouver Giants. How did you feel about Ryan Lynn?
I had him at 73 overall, high top 4D.
I had Ryan Lynn as 70 overall, top four, medium D. And my next question is, did you have the notes pulled up?
I do.
Okay, you can start. I'm scrolling.
All right. So for strengths, I have insanely high IQ, good skater, high defensive ability, very good puck mover, and good physicality for his size.
Yeah, hockey IQ is the number one thing I wrote down. He's very smart for a player his age. Um, Calmness with the puck. I wrote especially along the blue line in the offensive zone.
Mhm.
I saw him walking it a lot, but I didn't see him turning it over too often. And I wrote rush defense as a strength of his as well. Let's see. And I just wrote a very balanced defenseman with maybe some limited physical ceilings.
Mhm.
Were there any weaknesses you saw in his game?
Yeah, I remember just he's kind of like a defensive defenseman in an offensive defenseman's body. And then I thought that um, he doesn't probably doesn't have the highest offensive upside out of like the guys we've been talking about.
I like that. I like the way you said that about defensive defenseman and offensive defenseman's body. I didn't never really thought about it like that, but that's actually a really good way of describing Ryan Lynn. That's spot on. So what was your overall again? I'm sorry.
73.
All right, so I came in at 70
I'm
with the
basically at the top of the 2 years away range. You're at the bottom of it. So if
um
you want to be in the middle, I'm cool.
yeah, I'll go 72. I was almost even gonna go 73 just because for a guy as smart as he is, do you know where he's playing next year?
Denver, University of Denver.
All right, yeah. I like the change over to the NCAA. I think he's coming in smart enough that if he gets some good coaching and develops maybe some skills in his game, I'm cool with him at 72. and we share the same potential of top 4D medium potential.
I had high top 4D
Ooh, sorry. Let me. Am I
because
looking at?
I don't really think there's a world where he doesn't play in an NHL top four.
Okay, so you're at high top 4D, not because he's close to an elite potential, but because you're very confident he'll be a
Yeah.
middle pairing defenseman. Yeah, all right. So based off my comps, I can agree with that. One, I know one of them. We'll get to my comps in a minute, but yes, I think I'm confident he'll be in a middle pair defenseman. If you would like to jump to top 4D high for him, I am cool with that as our combined potential. So I have two comps, and these are just names that jumped in my head. And I know it's not. I just thought of kind of middle pairing or guys that may be sheltered for a bit but could play middle pairing. One of those is Jordan Spence, who I know has been sheltered, but I feel a team at some point is going to give this guy. All right, so I believe we left off on our pro comps for Ryan Lynn, correct?
Hmm.
All right, so I believe when throwing my pro comps in, maybe I saw a little more offensive upside in him. I went with Jordan Spence and Sean Dursey. I was just trying to find play like smart, good analytical middle pairing defensemen, and those are kind of the two names that jumped in my mind. But I know they're a little more offensive than I think Ryan Lynn's game may translate. But
Yeah, I agree.
what
I
do you,
like those two.
yeah, what did you think, player comp wise?
I went on the defensive side and more of like a ceiling. I said Jared Spurgeon,
I like that. I've actually seen that one a lot.
but he's taller than Jared Spurgeon.
Yeah, what did he come in at? Ryan Lynn, 5'11",
Uh,
180.
mhm.
Yeah, yeah. That's I mean it's technically undersized, but that'll play just fine in the NHL. I almost read Villeneuve's height and weight, and I was like, "Oh, Ryan Lynn, what? Boy looks bigger than that." But yeah, okay. So high top four and what was it, 72 overall we're settling on?
Mhm.
All right, sweet. And our next player is a fun topic. I see we're a little apart on him, but we'll
We
we'll
are
talk it out. Do you know how to say his name?
Xavier Villeneuve, I think.
Okay, better than me. I was gonna go like a little Spanish there. Villanueva. Probably not right. And he comes out of the queue and he plays for a team. And I I'm not saying that team name, man. He played for the Armada. That's what you get.
That's fine.
This is where I was excited for Austin to lead the show for these types of moments. Boy band. I had Xavier as 71 overall with a low elite potential. How did you view him?
I had him at 66 overall, medium top 4D.
I'd say that we are quite apart, and I'm looking to get into it with you. If you have the notes up, because I gotta find them real quick. Did you want to start?
Yeah, I mean, actually, I'll start with this is one of the guys that I had a really tough time giving a potential to because I agree, like, just the skill. I think low elite will probably end up being fair just because of how high end his puck skills are and his skating. I really just gave him the medium top 4D to put him in my rankings where I did, and because the floor is so low.
I agree with what you're saying, and if you're willing to come up to low elite, I think based
Yeah, if you
off
go up
him
to low elite and come down in the overall, I'm cool with that.
exactly. That's where I'm at. So if we kind of want to combine our grade here, you had him at a what? I'm sorry, overall wise.
66. But I can go up to like I think 68 is fine, like where the average is.
That's like a 3 year projection about.
Yeah.
All right, I'm cool with that. Um, I'm agreeing to come down on overall for the league he was in, and also I agree with you. And it's one of the first things I wrote that the floor, this could be almost like a boomer bust pick.
Yeah, I think it is.
But he was, and when I see players in the queue, I just get so not excited because you got to listen to the French broadcasting, you got to look at this version of hockey. But he got me to watch multiple games of the queue, which I wrote down was a good thing. So pros, I know you kind of talked about the puck skills. I wrote down, obviously, puck skills was the first thing I wrote down. I wrote down he's got just some dynamism in his game, like the way he
Hmm.
skates combined with the puck skills, and he's very creative. I wrote he has some intelligent aggression in the ozone where it kind of feels very calculated when he does take his chances. I feel they work more than some other prospects. But once again, the league you're playing in, probably the best player on the ice. And there's a lot of offensive pros, and I did throw one defensive pro in is, and I think he has to play this way, is an active defensive stick because he's not going to be bodying guys. But
Hmm.
if he's able to defend with his stick checking, I saw a couple good examples of him doing so.
Yeah, my strengths were, like I said, the high-end puck handling, passing, and IQ. Very talented skater. And I said offensive zone manipulation, like along
Yeah.
the blue line, especially.
Yeah, and so I threw a lot of stylistic things out here, like stylistic names, and it's gonna sound like a lot of high praise. There's two names I wrote down, and I would like to please preface that these are not exact comps, just things that look similar. Obviously, I've seen a lot of people say like the way Lane Hudson moves with the puck,
Hmm.
and but one as a Sabres fan, a Dahlin forehand backhand glide deke. I saw a lot of that, and kind of at the blue line. And dear God, I'm not comparing him to Dahlin as a prospect, but like that specific move, I see Dahlin do all the time, where it's almost like a head fake, and it's on his forehand, and it's on his backhand, and he just kind of glides around a guy. I'm doing it right now. You can't see me, but I hope that's
I know what you're
helping.
talking about.
Yeah, it's I saw him do that a couple times, and that got me really excited. But I believe we're gonna have similar cons. Would you like to share yours?
Yeah, let me go back to the screen. I mean, my weaknesses were just size, physicality, overall defensive play, and I wasn't really that impressed with his shot either.
Yeah, yeah. I have all of those, and I just wrote. Um, Sometimes, I mean, this is also related to the D zone. I wrote decisions under pressure in the D zone, like the forecheck will get to him if he doesn't make a immediate decision. And yeah, I mean, my first note is this dude is so small on the ice.
Yeah,
So, okay, so we're settling on low elite potential for Xavier Villeneuve, maybe. And was it 68 overall we're going with?
yeah,
And that lands him at 12 in our class, right?
yep.
All right. Did you have any comps you wanted to throw in here?
I mean, I just had the easy Hudson, obviously. I threw some power play Shane Gostisbehere,
Like that. I like that.
and actually, those are the only two I like. I don't really like my third one anymore.
Um, so yeah, I wrote top end is Lane Hudson, and the low end could be very low. I didn't exactly name a player, but I want to think real
I think
quick.
low end is like AHL assist
Abs
machine.
Absolutely. There's two players I'm thinking about right now. One of them is the dude who was on. It was an offensive defenseman on Ottawa that was like the main get for Mark Stone from Vegas. Do you remember who I'm talking about?
I don't.
And oh, dude, we could pull it up quick. And also another one is the defender that was the main piece in like the Seth Jones trade, and then he was at some point last year like quarterbacking Florida's power play. Do you know who I'm talking about there?
Oh, we're talking about his reading.
Uh, um, he was like one of the main gets in the Seth Jones trade, and then like he was also quarterbacking Florida's power play to start the year, either this year or last year.
Oh, I know who you're talking about. I just can't
We're
remember
gonna
his
get
name.
some we're gonna get some names here. Hold on.
I think Eric Brandstrom is the Ottawa trade.
Yes, yes, that's the guy who I was
Adam
thinking.
Bachfist, I think, is the Florida guy.
Yes, those are like the low end comps for him if it goes wrong.
Yeah,
Uh,
just power play specialist type.
Yep. I have no idea the size of those guys. I just thought like offensive defensemen that didn't really work out.
Bachfist, I think. I mean, I think they're both a little bit bigger than him. But I think they are both like. I think they would be considered small defensemen. So I think that works.
Sweet.
The
Sweet.
only one other thing I would add is the main reason I'm comfortable going up to low elite is because he's going to Boston University, where both of the Hudsons went. So I think it's just a good place to mold his game that way.
That's Yes, I'm very, very happy you mentioned that. That one I actually did know. I'm glad you said that. Yeah, for me to throw a low elite on someone, I need to see some elite traits, and I'd say he's displaying of multiple of them. He just needs to prove it in harder leagues, which I hope so.
Yeah,
All right, cool. Did you anything else on him, or are you all good?
I'm good.
All right. Next up on the first in, last out sports prospect draft guide, we have Keaton Verhoff out of the NCAA University of North Dakota. I came in with Verhoff at 71 overall, top 4D medium potential. Ryan, you came in at 70 overall, high top 4D potential. So I feel like we felt similarly about this player.
Hmm.
And I maybe pretty easily talked into high top D because we'll get into the traits here. But I just want to ask right away, were you as turned off about him as a prospect as I was due to just his he just looks slow, just so
Yep.
slow out there.
Yeah, skating is definitely the main reason I had him so low,
Agree. It's my
and some
first
decision
con.
making issues.
Yeah, did you see the on the one prospect shifts? He's just behind the net with no pressure, and he like tries like flipping it over the net almost. It goes right in the slot turnover, and I think they scored, but it was called back or something. I don't know, but there was just a play, and I literally go, "Let's watch the decision making," and then just stuff like that kept happening, and I was like, "Yeah, that's a con as well." So I agree with you there. Um, were there any other things that stuck out as a con? Like why we both had him so low, do you think?
I mean, those were my two main ones.
Yeah, it's skating, confusing turnovers slash management, and then I wrote his passing was good at times, but not fully consistent. Like he had some turnovers from his
Yeah, that's
passing.
fair. I just kind
But
of had that piled in with decision making.
that's fair. Yeah. But what did you like about him that we still had him as just about a top 10 player?
Oh, I think he's got a really powerful shot. I think he's a pretty decent puck handler, especially for his size. He's good physically, and just his size alone is a strength, I said.
Yeah. My first note is Verhoff comes into the draft process with a leg up on other defenders due to the fact that he is large and right-handed. So, agree with you there. For his pros, yeah, I have size. I liked his defensive positioning most of the time, like when he's defending a cycle or the rush.
Hmm.
Um, I felt he used an active stick to where he was doing something when he actually engaged that way. And I wrote that he wants to engage offensively, and I'd say he did. I know he produced pretty well for his position there. And is he on the younger side of this?
Yeah, he's young.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
the light
So,
green.
yep. It took me a while to figure out what all this meant, like color wise, but now that I understand, I'm like, I feel like that was pretty clear. Yeah, so but I do see the traits that this could be a higher end player. So I'm honestly, I have no problem, especially going from medium top four to high top four. And what was our overall difference? 71 to 70. Did you have a preference for which side of that we're landing on?
I don't.
Yeah,
They're in
honestly,
the same like tier of years away, so it doesn't really matter.
if we're going, and it's fun, I know you had the 70. If we're going up in potential for me, I'm down to go 70. So basically how you had it, if we come to that as the conclusion. So Keaton Verhoff at 70 overall, high top four potential.
I will
Uh,
say I did have him at 70 medium top four, but then I went and I watched some plays from like not this past season, but the year before when he was still in the WHL. And I mean, I think if he stayed there, we're talking about him like Carl's. Like he
okay.
looked pretty similar to what Carl's looked like in the WHL. I think he just got hurt by going to the NCAA as a young player, and it didn't immediately work for him. So I wanted to give him a little extra runway with the high instead of medium.
Yeah, I understand that. How did he look moving wise, like skating wise in that league?
I mean, you could still definitely kind of see that it wasn't a strength for him, but I do think it was hidden better in the WHL than it
Okay.
was in college.
Yeah, and I don't want to punish players for trying to play in a better league too. Um,
Yeah, I mean, he definitely has issues, but I think he just gets punished a little bit for playing in the harder league.
Understandable. So I'm willing, yeah, willing to jump up to high top four D potential. Did you have any pro comps for him?
I had a few I've seen around. Well, really two main ones. Ekblad. When I read that, I think that's a good fit. And then like bad case, like he actually is just not that good, and college exposed that. That's a David Jiricek.
Oh, jeez, that's a yeah, and he went around this range, right? Or he went a little
He
higher.
went like fifth.
Yeah, jeez, okay, that's a I like that as a bust pick actually. Where is he still in the wild?
Mm, I, I can't remember if they traded him. Yeah, they traded him for he went to Philly for Bobby Brink, I think.
Okay, well, he's getting traded for Bobby Brink, which Bobby Brink has his moments. I felt pretty. I felt I had a fun high end comp, and that was like how Colton Parayko um turned out.
I
And
can
then
see that.
yeah, that was more like I was more drawn to the size with that, and I
Hmm.
know Parayko. He definitely had a
He's
few
like more
really
like punishing, I would say too.
yeah
Brinko is.
yeah. But with his size, maybe someone could coach that into Verhoff a little bit. That'd be nice.
Yeah,
And then I wouldn't even call this a bust pick, but maybe just I kind of have like a Severson slash Pesci where he hangs around and definitely gets a little overpaid due to his size, but
yeah.
maybe
Pesci's a
not.
good one.
Yeah, maybe not the best guy to give so much money to, but I feel he'll stick around due to the right shot, large defender. But there's a world where he does have a better role. So next up, so I'm gonna spoil this. Next up is Ethan Belche. He is out of the OHL, the Windsor Spitfires. This was who Austin was hinting that he had as a blue chip prospect.
Really?
I think it's
He just wanted
because
to find the closest independent Martone.
yeah, just a large guy. Was Porto Martone was from what did I just say? Did he play for? No, he played for Sat. Who did he play for? Do you know?
I can't remember the name. It started with a B, I think. Brampton Steelheads.
Steelheads, that's what it was. Yes, okay. But yeah, this is Austin. He told me this was his blue chip guy, and then he watched a couple minutes of him. So you know what? I'm willing to give Austin a little bit of credit there. So what was your overall and potential for Belchase, Ryan?
I had him at 72 overall, medium top six forward.
All right, I had him at 71 overall, medium top six forward. So really not too far apart. What'd you like about him?
Would it help if I hold him before we start talking?
Yeah, I did the same thing. That's why I threw it to you.
All right. I mean, the strengths were pretty clear. He's huge, so he's pretty physical. He's a really good shot. I feel like his passing is pretty underrated. And yeah, just I think he's pretty much the go-to power forward in the class.
Yeah, yeah. I think there's enough. He has a higher ceiling than some of the power forwards are probably going to get here,
Right,
and
yeah.
I agree. One of the things you said I had wrote down as well was his passing and playmaking potential with his size. And I noted, obviously, with his size, he's going to go here, but I liked how he was in front of the net at times
Mhm.
offensively. He battled pretty well there. What was kind of a cons for Bell Shades?
I said skating, pace of play, and inconsistent motor.
Yeah, I skating's my first one as well. I wrote skating upside because I don't think it's horrible,
Yeah,
but
I can agree with that.
yeah, I don't think it's really just it's going to be hard with how gigantic he is. I wrote ceiling of shot as well because obviously he's a decent amount of his goals were like I talked about net front there, and I don't know. I don't think he's a bad shot, but just if he doesn't work on it, that be a weakness in his game still. And then those are the main two concerns I had. I The first game I watched on him, I really liked as like a floor player. I think he'll come in when he does get to the league and be able to play over the lineup where you don't have to force him to the top of your lineup. He can
Hmm.
hang in a bottom six role to start, which I think if a prospect is able to do that, it'll help them adjust to the NHL a little better. Um, let's see. So pros, cons. Did you have any pro comps that jumped out for him?
I didn't write any. I think I just forgot.
I
But pick your favorite skilled power forward, and it probably works.
Does Mason Marchman work for you?
Yeah, I'll take that.
I don't know if Marchman's pure power, but I know he has similar-ish
Yeah,
size, and I know he had a couple good playmaking seasons. Was it for Florida? I think that's where,
yeah.
and then I know he's got a deal and then bounced around a couple teams, but I don't know. Marshman is kind of who jumped in my head for
I
some
think it was
reason.
Dallas where he was good
Yeah, it was Dallas. He
because
wa-
he's been on Florida, Dallas, Columbus. I don't even know
was
where he is right now, to be
was he
honest.
on
Is he still on
Seattle at
Dallas?
all? Would you say?
Is he still on Dallas?
No, I know he got traded this year because he was the one. I
Oh, he
think.
might have got traded to Seattle. You're right.
So, what team was he on where he like slew foot Bell or Schaefer, and then
I think he's on Columbus. Yeah, that's he's on Columbus right now.
damn, he's 31. Yeesh. Oh, I opened up his Wikipedia, and Wikipedia is asking for money. All right. Yeah, so he was drafted by Toronto. He's on Columbus now. He was on Seattle for a bit.
Yeah, last year.
Weird. Yeah, but you got anything else to add on Bell Shades?
Just that he's going to Michigan State next year, so it's a pretty good place to continue to develop his power forward game.
Yeah, and I think it's good you have these down. For some reason, I didn't write if they were playing in NCAA or wherever next year, and being able to develop there, I think, is important. So we have to decide between 71 and 72. I think I'll
I don't
concede.
care.
Yeah, we'll go 72 overall, medium top six forward. But I agree. Ethan Bellshates will be the go-to power forward in this draft. All right, the next player we will be previewing is Adam Novotny, winger. He is coming out of the OHL, Peterborough Petes. I had Adam Novotny as 70 overall, top six forward medium. How did you have Adam Novotny, Ryan?
I had him at 72, medium top six forward.
All right, cool. So we agree on the potential. I mean, I know we'll talk about it, but do you just want to meet in the middle on the overall there?
Yeah, I'm good with that. I don't
All
feel
right,
strongly.
so Adam Novotny, 71 overall, top six forward, medium potential. And Adam Novotny, what did you like in his game?
For strengths, I had versatile, good skater, good shot, good IQ, good physicality, and drives play.
Yeah, I agree about the play driving. I like to see that. It was very often he just looked like the best player on the ice, playing against some good teams as well, or some other good prospects. I liked his sniping ability. I thought he had a really good shot. I agree with you about the skating, and I felt like he was good away from the puck as well, which was nice to see
Hmm.
for a skill player. And I feel like this player kind of comes in, and when he's in the NHL, I feel there's a good floor just with that baseline that we just talked about.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, was there other things you liked about his game?
those are all I had.
Yeah, yeah, that's where I'm at too. How about for the weaknesses on Adam Novotny?
Honestly, the only thing I could come up with was I think he has a lower skill ceiling than you might like him to have. Like I think he probably caps out at second line. I don't know if he'll ever be on the first line.
I feel that's reflected well in that we both agree in his potential as a top, medium top six forward.
Yeah,
Like even like for Malhotra and Tynan Lawrence, where we gave him high top six, I feel most likely those that still shows like a good second liner with
yeah,
potential. So I I like that we both agreed on that, especially with his potential. So with 71 overall, we predict a couple years of development. Do you know where he's playing next season?
I think he's staying in Peterborough.
Okay, cool. Yeah. And so one thing I did want to talk about with him is he played, I believe it was 10 games in his professional Czech league before.
Hmm.
So I like to, I've talked about it a couple times, and I know you kind of agree. Maybe a little bit of bias for guys that can hang in professional leagues. Now I know he currently isn't playing in it, but it's still good to see.
Yeah, this is
Style,
unrelated, but when you're watching their games, I feel like his team is just like a weird team. I don't know how to describe it, but
like
they're
si-
like they just play a weird brand of hockey.
like system wise.
Yeah,
Yeah, I guess I do agree with you. And are there specific things you noticed?
can't I can't like put it into words. I feel like it's just like extremely structured.
Just
I guess
just
is the best way I could put it.
a feeling while watching it.
Yeah, like everyone just does the same thing. I guess is a way I could put it.
I mean, coach has got a good grab of these guys, and it's
I guess. I mean, I don't know if they were even good, but
yeah, I don't know. He's for guys coming out of that league, I feel it's pretty rare for me to be like, oh, they're away from the puck play is good, and he's coming out of junior hockey, and I wrote that down. So maybe that is related to the system. That's an interesting way of looking at it. It was you know what? We're Googling if they're good. Petersboro beats record last. Was there anyone else good on that team that you know of?
off the top of my head,
Let's see. They were 40, 24, and 1. Or sorry,
I
yeah.
guess they're pretty good.
Yeah, that'll do. Um, okay, so we have the grade, we have the potential. What about player comps? What did you like in or what did you see in Adam Novotny's style and game?
The one that I saw that I thought fit the best was Arturi Lekkinen.
That's fun. Yeah. I like that. I feel like that's like a almost like a ceiling for him,
Yeah, definitely.
but I like that. I wrote the good years of Jack Roslovich where he was like playing second line on
Okay, yeah, I
some
like
good
that.
teams. Um, I don't know how big Jack Roslovich is, but I
I
knew he
think they're
could.
probably similar.
Let's see, Novotny was
6'1", 200.
yeah, yeah, and I feel like Roslovich was kind of known for a good shot, and I feel like he can.
Rozovic is exactly 6'1", 200.
Dude, are you serious?
Well, 198, but
Uh,
I'm calling that 200.
We'll round up. Yeah, that's sick. I didn't even. That was off the dome too. Sweet. All right, cool. Anything else on Adam Novotny?
I'm good.
Yeah, same here. Up next is Daxon Rudolph, defenseman out of the WHL Prince Albert Raiders. I have him as a 68 overall, top 4D low. How do you have him?
I'm at 70 overall, medium top 4D.
I'm gonna be honest with you, watching some of him just kind of pissed me off, even though I did
No,
see.
I completely understand.
I was like, what is this guy doing half the time?
I completely understand. I only have him as medium because he's so good at offense.
Yeah, and honestly, I feel like I'm gonna talk about my strengths and weaknesses, but I want to give my comp right away because I feel like it
I didn't have one,
describes.
so yeah, it's all yours.
I wrote Shane Gostisbehere.
Yeah, that works. The one I was toying with was Brant Clark, but I didn't really love it that much, so I just didn't write it.
You're talking to a Brent Clark truther
I
here.
know.
That would have sparked a whole different conversation. That's where we would have needed Austin. We would have had a 20-minute conversation about Brant Clark in our draft review. All right, I'll let you. What strengths did you see in his game?
I said offensive IQ, puck handling, playmaking, very good shot, and rush defense.
Yeah, I offensive instincts. Yeah, I liked. I yeah, I agree with those. What were your cons on him?
Can you hear me?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I hear you
All right,
now.
no, my earbud died, so I had to put the other one in.
You're good. What were your weaknesses on Daxon Rudolph?
I just said defensive IQ and motor.
Yep, yep. I wrote compete, but I feel that's very
Yeah, same
similar.
thing.
I got angry, dude. I was drinking coffee. I remember I was watching him, and he did something stupid and then I burnt my mouth and I was just really angry the rest of the time watching him, which I'd like to think that didn't impact my grade. Um, I just wrote defensive projection into the NHL. I don't know, like that's gonna have to go somewhere if he wants to be a real player. Like,
Yeah, honestly, I totally agree with all that. And honestly, the main reason I had him at medium top four is again that he's going to college. He's going to Denver specifically. So I think he'll get drilled defensively pretty well,
do you do
hopefully.
you, do you think he'll be able to develop though? I mean, because it really
I
made
mean, he
me,
better hope so.
yeah. All right, so I think we do have to decide here on potential. He's a weird one where he he's not totally different from Villeneuve. Obviously, Villeneuve I think was maybe just showed more elite skating and offensive traits, even though Daxton Rudolph,
Yeah,
I don't
you
know.
basically lose some of the dynamism, like you said, but you add like 4 inches and 40 pounds.
Yeah. Which I mean, with that size, there's a world where his defense game picks up, right?
Yeah, and honestly, like I had rush defense as a strength. I don't think he's like completely nothing. It's really just the motor and the overall like positioning on the cycle and the D zone.
Yeah, cycle defense, I agree with you there. I didn't write rush defense as a strength, but I'm looking.
There's just a couple times where like he just came flying out of nowhere. Like he was probably out of position to begin with, but when he got back in position, he was fine and broke up the play.
I like that. That's good. I wrote, yeah, he could be a bit more consistent. And I wrote almost a bit of that McKenna floating just in the middle of nowhere, but I'm like, dude, you play
Yeah,
defense. All right. So I think with his offensive ceiling, we can go medium top four. What was your overall on him though?
I had him at 70.
All right. I feel with his defensive game where it's at, do you want to come down to like high 60s?
Yeah, we can do that.
But we're bumping what my potential was. But we can go like 69, 68 because I do agree where his offensive game is at. So I think I mean this guy could be a top 10 pick.
Yeah, I think he probably is.
You just want to go 69 then top 4D medium?
Yeah, we can do that.
Because I feel what I'm trying to get across is the weaknesses in his game and just how frustrating he can be. Where does that put
Yeah,
him, by the way?
he's at 16th overall.
All right. There's a world where we look bad on that, but there's also a world where we look smart on that. So I'm okay with that.
Yeah,
All right. You all right if we get into our next one? Next up on our draft guide, Oscar Hemming, forward out of the NCAA, playing at Boston College. I have Oscar Hemming as a 70 overall player, top nine forward high. How do you feel about Oscar Hemming, Ryan?
I have it 71 overall, high top nine.
All right. Very similar again. If you have the notes up, you're good to get started. I'm finding him right now.
Um, I just said for strengths, physicality, shot, and motor. And for weaknesses, I have skating, puck handling, and consistency.
I totally agree on the strengths. I wrote, yeah, two-way game, physicality, and I wrote that when he did use his reach, it worked. I would just like to see him use it a little more. And I felt he was a good supporting player when his team was cycling the puck. Like I guess I could word that a little differently, like away from the puck game. I liked. Weaknesses kind of similar to you. I wrote limited offensive ceiling slash tools. I wrote does not fully utilize his reach. Kind of like I'd like to see him use it more.
Hmm.
And I wrote this guy. If you want the best out of him, he's gonna need some good teammates with him with the way he plays.
Yeah, I agree. The only like problems I ran into with him is he had such a weird season that it was like hard to fully judge. Because basically he started, so he had a contract in Finland, but he didn't want to play there anymore. So he tried to get out of it and go play for Kitchener in the OHL. But then the Finland team like didn't let him leave. They like blocked the Kitchener contract, so he had nowhere to play. So he just didn't play for half the year. And then he went to Boston College in like January.
I think I remember you. texting in the FILO group chat about it when he eventually got to Boston College because he had to update the spreadsheet, right?
Yeah. Then it was also weird because he like started playing very well when he started about the college and then kind of faded towards the end. And you would think the opposite would happen.
Yeah, that is weird. Yeah, no, I was reading my notes there, and I agree with you 100%. What was did you have any player comps for him?
I just had Will Cooley, but I don't know if I really love that. It's more just a like physical game, but can still play up the lineup if he needs to.
Yeah. No, I don't think that's bad at all. I went with Warren Fogle slash Joel Armia.
Yeah,
That's
those are good.
maybe like more middle six. I don't know how big either of those guys are, but I feel like they're both just
In my
checking.
mind, they're smaller than Henning, but I don't know. I mean, Henning's a large human being.
Yeah. Let's do this real quick. Joel Armia is. Do you have Hemming's height and weight there?
Yeah, he's 6'4", 204.
Yeah. Joel Armia is 6'3". It's not giving me his
Okay,
weight.
that's how I thought he would be. He's
6'3",
probably a decent bit over 200.
213.
Yeah,
There we go. And then Fogel, I think's a little smaller though.
he's 6'2", 205.
All right. But I guess play style wise, I don't mind it. Um, so we're just one overall off, right?
Yeah.
You had him at 71.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm you can bump up to 71, keep the same potential. That'll I think that keeps him right where he is in the rankings at currently 17, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's fine. Middle of the first, I feel is okay for him. So next up to talk about is Oliver Suvanto, center out of Liga. He, for me, was 71 overall, top nine forward high. So a very similar player to Hemming, but he does play center. What did you have him at?
I had him at 72 overall, medium top nine forward.
So you liked him a little better than Hemming?
A little worse. I had Henning at high top nine.
Oh,
But honestly, now that
71.
I'm looking at it, I'm pretty sure I had Suvanto at high top nine. Yeah, I did. I just put it in wrong. See, I have him at 72 overall, high top nine.
I gotcha. Okay. But what also happened was I read my own ranking twice to you. So that's really good production on my part. All right, so we're let's get into him. You got the notes there? I gotta find them again. I keep doing this. It's every single time. I'm currently in week 15 NFL picks, if that helps.
All right. For strengths, I just had physicality, motor, and IQ.
Yep. It was fun to watch, honestly. I had IQ, physicality. I thought his positioning was pretty good.
Mhm.
Honestly, in both ends of the ice.
Oh
I
yeah,
thought
so defense. I didn't see that.
yeah, I thought he played just the center position well. And I wrote he used his size well in a lot of moments too.
Mhm.
Some of the weaknesses I just wrote limited ceiling, and I wrote he just plays kind of conservative at times,
Mhm.
which I don't know. Depending on the system, that could even be a strength. But if I was drafting a guy, I'd look for maybe a higher ceiling. But if this is what you need, I could see a mid first round pick on him. To be honest with you, what did so yeah, we're both in agreement on top nine forward high. You're at 72 overall. So how do you feel in terms of like how long it'll take him to reach the NHL?
I think he's about 2 years away.
Yeah, that's about where about 72 is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm cool. If you wanna just make that our median one, I'm okay with that. So that'll put him ahead of Hemming when we're done here, which I'm okay with. I also think in terms of him playing center and playing the position well, I'm okay with him if he goes earlier. What else did you want
I
to
think I might
touch
like
on?
Hemming more.
You like Hemming more. Sorry, I mixed them up when you keep. So okay, we right now we have Hemming at 71. Did you want to keep?
Basically, I just think like there is a world where Hemming ends up being like a second line winger. I think Suvanto is just a locked in third line center.
Okay, so what is our grade on Hemming is 71, high top nine, right?
Yeah. And
Did
that's exactly what Hemming is and Suvanto. Yeah.
did you want
We can just call them the same and just have him higher if you're cool with that.
Yeah, yeah, that's fine. I'd say there's a little more projectable skill in Hemming's game, which is why I'm not pushing two back on it. Um, I do think in terms of like if we were doing a mock draft right now, I could see a world where Suvanto goes earlier because
Yeah,
of him.
just the center.
Yeah. So I'm okay with how it looks right now. That's okay with me. How did you have him pro comp wise?
I might not have done one. Yeah, I didn't have one.
Okay. I had hold on. Zoom's giving us a 10-minute warning again. Jeez. I had a few, and they're all third line centers. Adam Lowry, Nick Bukestad, Christian Dvorak, just that mold of player.
Yeah, Adam Lowry is a really good one.
Yeah, they're about similar size too, right?
Yeah, Lowry might be taller. I don't know why I think Adam Lowry's like 6'5". Yeah, he is 6'5", 210.
Yes, okay. Um,
But Zivanto's heavier.
yeah, he's a big boy. Like even just
Yeah,
watching him
and
out
he's one of
there.
the youngest players in the class too.
Yeah. So yeah, good floor player, center. And I agree with you where most realistic is this is a bottom six third line center that just is kind of good all around, but not blowing you away. So yeah, that is Oliver Suvanto. All right, cool. All right, so next up, going forward, these are just Ryan scouted prospects until we get to Ryan Rubrick, who I randomly scouted really early on. But we're going to begin with Ilya Morozov, forward. He is coming out of the NCAA, Miami University of Ohio. Is that right?
Hmm.
That's sick. Is that even a I mean, is it a hockey school? But like,
Yeah, I mean they were pretty good this year.
that's fun. That's sick. All right. So what do you got, Morozov here? You want to share?
So Morozov to me is basically the NCAA version of Suvanto. They're basically play the exact same game. They're both very young for the class. They're pretty much the same size. So his strengths are similar. He's very defensively minded, good physicality, high motor, and his weaknesses are just skating and the overall skill ceiling. He's kind of just like he's going to be a third line center, worst case fourth line center.
So that's what I was going to ask. We have him down as forward. Did he play center in college?
I think he played like all over the place. Let me
Okay.
look up to make sure he's actually.
Because
I'm pretty sure he played center for them.
I know getting to this point, like guys do move all over the ice. You know, it's I wasn't sure if
Yeah,
he
I mean he's
played.
listed like everywhere as a forward, but I think he plays center.
Okay.
Like I think he played center at Miami.
All right. And you have him at 72 overall, high top nine forward. Is that correct?
Yeah, that would move him down to 71, high top nine to be the same as Suvento. So just view them as basically the same player.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So just kind of adjusting it based off what we settled on earlier.
Yeah, and I'm gonna move him up to Suvento if you're cool with that.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm looking at he's above higher overalls than everyone in between them. So that's cool with me.
Okay.
All right. So is that all on Morozov?
I'll read through to make sure, but I think so.
Cool. This is the guy Sabres are supposedly looking at, right?
Yeah, he's one of the guys from that article. I think the only other little tidbit I would add is I mean Suvento could probably do this too, but I noticed especially in Mrazov's tape that he might even sneak onto a first line power play just because of how sick in front of the net he is.
I like that.
Yeah, that's all I had.
All right. And I know you're excited to talk about our next guy here. We have Alexander Command, center, Swedish, coming out of oh boy. Oh, you want to say the team name?
Orbro,
Or
HK.
I guess I made that harder than it needed to be, didn't I? Yeah, so I would like to preface this again. I got to him the same day as Gustafson, but I ended up at 69 overall, top nine forward high. Where did you end up there?
I'm similar. I was in at 70 overall, high top nine.
Nice. I feel we're reaching a point where I feel most of our grades are either one or two overall off and just a little discussion about potential if they're different, which I think is good to see. Let me pull him up. Command, command, command. You told me that you liked him, right?
Yeah, he came down a little bit. Like I
What
just assumed he would be higher in my rankings than he actually ended up being.
what'd you see in him?
For strengths, he's pretty similar to like the Suvanto type, but I think he
Yeah.
just has a little more skill than Suvanto. So same strengths, motor, physicality, IQ. But I added in passing because I think he's a better passer than Suvanto is.
Totally agree. I had solid floor player, projecting as a solid two-way player with good compete in his game, and I noted his impressive playmaking to pair with that. So those are my strengths on him. Was there anything you see that you needed him to improve on?
Um, Again, same kind of weaknesses as Suvanto. I had like overall skill ceiling. I really do think his is higher, and the skating wasn't super impressive to me.
Yeah, yeah, same here. Do you think like so? I feel like we're kind of getting into an area where these players are projecting as good players with maybe limited ceilings. Do you think like maybe once one of these guys goes that like say if Suvanto goes that it may make allow command to go almost like right behind him or even reverse order, like almost like a run on these kinds of players?
Yeah, maybe. It kind of also just depends on like team philosophy. Like there are teams that'll want a guy who's like pretty much guaranteed to play in the NHL, but then there are teams that'll want a guy who may never, but also maybe like a 40 goal scorer.
Yeah, yeah. Everyone plays it differently. Differently. Sorry. Um. So we are one overall apart. You probably scouted him deeper. If you want to go 70, I'm okay with that. We'll keep the potential there. So that has command at 70 overall, high top nine forward. Did you have a pro comp for him?
I had Joel Eriksson.
That's I if he turns into Joel Eriksson,
Yeah, that's like a high end, obviously, but
I like it though. Like because he can play make while also having that floor.
mhm.
So I like that. I apparently didn't have one, so I apologize on that. We'll run with yours there. Um, anything else you'd like on him?
Let me read through make sure.
Mine was really short on him. That's why I
Yeah,
think
I
he's a
mean,
late.
as we're down here, mine are all pretty short. I think the only other like little tidbit I had is I mentioned earlier in the video that Bjork, I think, has the best motor in the class. Stenberg, I think, is probably second, and Command is who I think has the third best in the class.
These Swedish guys have no quit, Ryan.
Yeah, they're insane.
I like it. So next one is all you, and I think this is definitely a guy worth talking about. So I'll introduce him, and then you can take him away. And correct me if I'm wrong on his name. Like I said, I didn't get to him. Tommy Blale.
Yeah.
All right, this is a defenseman out of the queue playing for the Moncton Wildcats. What do you like about him, Ryan?
So as for far as strengths, I have he's probably the best skater in the entire class. Very high skill and a transition machine.
Should have got to this guy. This sounds like fun.
He's kind of like Villeneuve, but with a little less skill, but a little just like overall better, like off the puck.
How big is he?
He is about the same size.
Okay. And they
He's
both
got
that
6 pounds on him, same
they were
height.
both in the queue, right?
Yeah,
Cool. All right. What was your overall and potential on him?
I had him at 68 overall, medium top 4G. So basically the same as what I had Villeneuve at.
All right. So after talking it out and settling on our Villeneuve, do you want to bump him or how you feeling?
No, I think I have to keep him here just because the skill ceiling I think is lower.
Not quite the elite traits of Villeneuve.
Yeah, like he definitely has elite skating and he's definitely like good at like puck handling and passing and all that, but I just wouldn't put him on the like extremely high end of the class level like I would put Villeneuve.
Yeah. So I think did you have a do you have a pro comp for him?
I had Gossespear and Samuel Gerard.
Gerard's a fun one that I thought about throwing on some of these guys just because of how offensive this class tries
Yeah.
to be. I like that. I like that one a lot actually. And he's on the smaller side too, right?
Yeah, I think so. It's probably on the same side, like 5'11" ish.
That's a fun comp, actually. I like that. So that lands Tommy. Oh, sorry. Did we talk about his weaknesses, or is there anything you wanted to mention?
For weaknesses, I just had overall defense, size, and not as high skill as Villeneuve
Yeah, cool with me. So that lands him at number 18th on our big board.
for now. We'll see if he ends up moving.
That's true. So top 4D though, I guess we can have this. I know we'll probably run through it all at the end just to make sure everything.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, we'll do that then. I have no problem with that. And then I think we only have one more that, or sorry, we have two more because I forgot about our boy all the way down there. I just want to mention, I just want to talk about it when we get to him. But the second to last player that was dual scouted, and then Ryan has a good bit that he got to himself. But we're currently getting to Mathis Preston. He is a forward coming out of the WHL playing for the Spokane Chiefs. I had him the same grade as I originally had Klepp off at 66 overall, top six forward low. What did you have on him?
I have him basically the same rate as I originally had Klepp off of it, 60-70 in top six.
Okay. Alrighty. So was Preston someone who at some point was really highly touted, like maybe early in the year or coming into it?
Yeah, he was probably like a drafter -1 favorite type. I don't remember for sure though. I might be thinking of someone else.
So because I recognize
He's
the name.
definitely he's like a controversial name. Like there are people that love him and have him like top five. There are people that hate him that have him like third round.
So I can see both sides of that because
Yeah,
he when he's on, man, he is. I see why he's getting those high projections, but there's some shifts in his game on the prospect shifts channel there where I'm like, what is this? Almost like a offensive Daxton Rudolph in a way, where
yeah,
it
I can definitely see that.
just felt very inconsistent. But his high moments, dude, they were so good. I, at the end of my notes, I go, my takeaway from Preston's film is that all aspects of hockey he has shown that he can be good at, but he has also shown that he can be bad at. Maybe bad was the wrong, but maybe replace bad with inconsistent. He shows he can be
Yeah,
inconsistent at it. This is a hard prospect to give a grade and honestly even a full write-up to. I go, his career may honestly depend on what type of team and coaching staff decides to take a chance on him. So I guess I want to ask you, do you know where is he playing hockey next year?
I think he's staying in Vancouver.
Okay.
I'm
Um,
gonna look to make sure, but I'm pretty sure he didn't commit anywhere.
Honestly, he's a guy where maybe I would have liked to
I
see
wish
him.
he did. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
exactly what I wrote.
100%. There's times where he's just kind of coasting around out there, and there's times where he'll
Yeah,
make a
he's just
move.
staying.
And
I think
where's that? Sorry, he's saying.
he's just staying.
Yeah, I mean, so here's the thing. We're kind of getting deeper into this, and I'm understanding potential a little more. And based off his skills, I am willing to say there's a medium chance that there's a top six forward in there. I'm okay bumping up to where you have him potential wise. And I know I said that a lot for the last few guys, but these are the guys I got too late, so I'm kind of trusting your process on them a tad more.
Do you want to call him the same overall as Klepov?
Yeah,
Okay,
I agree. But there's a part of me here where I want to put
Preston above him.
yeah. I
I was
think
just gonna ask you if I could do that, so I'm
I
cool
think
with
his
that.
overall skill and I know they're the same potential, but I feel there's a higher ceiling in Preston there.
Yeah,
Like, okay, like I said, I didn't get a full thing on him, but if I watched all of it, there's a world where I don't know, where maybe maybe like a low elite. I don't think we should do it, but I
no,
think
I definitely agree.
but you see what I'm saying, like that kind of play,
Yeah,
almost boom or bust. So
yeah. I don't think he's ever playing on a third line.
exactly, yes, like when we talked about Belchase earlier, that guy can come into the league and play bottom six till he's ready. Preston, it's going to be like, all right, can you play third line power play or second line, and like it'll be almost a tougher path because of that,
Yeah.
his skill set. But yeah, I kind of rambled everything I had on him. What did you want to say on him?
I mean, I have pretty similar feelings. My strengths for him were insanely high speed,
Hmm.
very good rush attacker, very good shot, very good puck handler. And then for weakness, I just had uh, made some very interesting decisions in a bad way,
Yes.
physicality, and he could be too individual at times.
Yeah. I think that's really good. And I agree moving him above Klepov. Like I said, we'll go through all this and make sure we get a good order by the end of it. But I guess just looking at the guys around him. So how'd you want to do this from here on out? So we're ending Preston at 67 overall, medium top six forward, currently number 21 in our rankings. How did you want to go about these guys up until our boy Ryan Rubrick and then after? Did you just wanna or how did you feel about it?
Let me think for a second. Honestly, I think like order wise, it's pretty good. I would only argue for Morozov to be higher, which I can explain when we actually start that section.
Okay.
But then like from Cover down, I'm fine with that order. Besides Rubric, I would have him at the very bottom probably.
I'm gonna dispute you on that, Ryan. No, honestly, I don't blame you. So in terms of talking about these guys, did you just want me to kind of ask you like the strengths, weaknesses, and then like your overall and stuff, like how we've been doing, or did you want to
Yeah,
like,
we can do like the overall potential and then strengths, weaknesses. I think I only have I only have three comps left. So for most of them, I won't have one.
oh, I've been forgetting to do comps for these last few guys, haven't I? Like
Yeah, let me see if I even had any for these guys. I don't think I did.
I said, if there is one,
No, I didn't.
okay, I don't have one for Preston I'm looking at, so I'm cool just leaving that how it is. All right, so I will just talk to you about just in order about these guys, and however in depth you want to go is cool with me.
All right, it's not going to be super in depth. I'm going to try to get through it pretty fast.
Nice. All right, next up on the draft guide is Nikita Klepov, forward out of the OHL Saginaw Spirit. I have him as 66 overall, top six forward low. Ryan, how you got him?
I had him at 68 overall, medium top six forward.
Gotcha. All right, so a little higher, and I'm open to it. I just, for some reason, I wanted to translate that 97 OHL points. I mean, it's impressive, but there's other things to look for in a player's game, and there's a few that I did like in Klepov, and I just had it. Here it is. So for his pros, I liked his like goal scoring and finishing ability. I feel he projects well to no matter what, be on your power play one or two and be productive. And his offensive skills and instincts in that area of the ice, I really liked. So, what did you like about him?
I said motor, although can be inconsistent. I said skill, although not high end, and skating.
Gotcha. Okay, so how did you feel about like his shot and finishing there, or was I just
I thought he had a good shot. I just
okay?
thought it was not like it's definitely a strength for him, but I wouldn't say like among the class, it's one of the best. I guess that's why I didn't list it.
I agree. I would still say Novotny probably is a better shot if we were to compare
Yeah,
the
I
two.
would agree he does.
Okay, so okay, I understand that then. And what about the weaknesses in his game? What did you notice?
I said forced plays and a decent bit of his offense didn't seem translatable to me.
Is it because uh, I have sorry, just to go off what you said, I go the points are very impressive, but watching a few games on him, some of these are charity points. Like
Yeah, he just kind of like toys with the bad players on the other team.
just some of the worst goaltending I've ever seen in some of these
That's
games. I'm being completely honest with you. Really, really bad goaltending. But after I said that in my notes, I said I don't want this to come across as a negative tone. I go, there's a lot of things Klepov does nice. And I wrote Klepov has potential to be a nice middle six offensive player for a team, and I think he'll do well on a power play unit. I feel pretty confident projecting parts of his game to do well in that area of the ice. Um, did you say the weaknesses? I'm sorry.
yeah, I did.
Okay, I didn't notice much in his two-way game. I don't know if I'd call it a full-on weakness, but I didn't see any strengths there. and I wrote Junior League free points.
Yeah.
I maybe I made myself a tad lower just because of I wanna set the tone that these OHL points shouldn't have him in the top 10 or anything. Where was I? Let me pull up my overall on him again. I had him at 66. You had him at 68. Uh, and then so medium top six versus low top six. What about his game do you think translates to a medium top six potential specifically? I know we talk strengths, but what do you think? Which of those strengths do you think are most important for being like a second line winger here?
I just think if he, especially the motor, if he gets it to be like fully consistent, and I do think there's enough skill there to be a top six forward, even though I do think he was taking advantage of his league. I mean, you can't just do that with no skill.
Yeah. Yeah, if you're gonna make these guys look like idiots, you gotta be better than them. So that's I agree. So we're only two overall apart.
Yeah,
You
I
just
mean, he was
wanna
a hard guy for me to rank just because, like, I think he does have enough of a B game that he could still play like a third line. But I didn't really want to call him like high top nine forward because it doesn't really feel like it fit him.
so I really agree. I agree with you on that 100%. We're definitely in some area of the top six here. So I guess overall, do you just want to meet in the middle at 67?
Yeah, we can do that.
Okay. And then so I got to him the same day as those other last guys. So I'm gonna trust your projection here. We can go top six medium forward on him here. And then yeah, we're just meeting in the middle on the grade. So next up is Jackson Cover. Cover or cover?
I think it's Cover. That's how I've always said it, but I don't actually know.
All right. Cool. All right. Next up is Jackson Cover. This is a Canadian winger coming out of the OHL playing for the London Knights. And Ryan, what is your overall potential currently for Jackson Cover?
I had him at 67 overall, medium top six forward.
Oh, medium top six. What'd you see in his game?
Um, he's kind of similar to the like Preston and Klepoff type, where he's just high skill, very good skater, high motor, good shot. He's one of the guys that have like really shot up throughout the year on like consensus lists because he like moved to Canada just a couple years ago because he was playing roller hockey in the Cayman Islands growing up.
That's so sick.
So he's like the like raw, inexperienced riser type.
Is this like when there's a random offensive guard in the NFL that's played 1 year of college football and they're like he's going in the first round?
Maybe,
Is
yeah.
that- so basically a high speed, high skill player. Is that what I'm understanding here?
Yeah. The only weakness I listed for him was his like IQ away from the puck has to improve.
But for a player so new to the game, do you think there's a developmental runway there for him?
I think so, yeah.
And he was so yeah, based off what you're saying, obviously I didn't scout him, but medium top six forward does sound like a like you want to keep that potential there.
Yeah.
Yeah, based off what you're saying, I agree with you. And what are you locking his overall in at?
I'll keep it at 67. So it's the same as Preston and Klepoff.
Perfect. Yeah, so you're kind of forming like a little bit of a tier there.
Yeah,
I like it. All right. Anything else you want to add?
I think I'm good.
All right. Sweet. Next up is Elton Hermansson.
Hmm.
Hermansson, maybe. Winger out of Sweden, playing for Hockey Allsvenskan. Els Al, how was that?
I was Svensson, yeah, that's right.
All right, sweet. Yeah. So, what'd you like about him? What was your grade and potential there?
So I had Hermanson at 65 overall, medium top six forward. He kind of continues this tier we've been in.
Yeah. What is he? Is he high skill speed or is he?
Yeah, very high skill.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say he's not like Preston speed, but he's not slow. He's pretty fast. But he does have similar problems to Preston where he makes some odd choices. He can be very individualistic with the puck, that kind of stuff. But he's just so skilled that it's probably worth taking a chance on.
Yeah, pair these kinds of prospects. If they go to like a good team late in the first round with a good developmental system, I could see these guys working out. What are some weaknesses, like just kind of individual hockey and
Yeah, so I said physicality, off puck motor, and then I said he's top six or bust.
yes, and that kind of so I see why you gave him that kind of potential because there's not really a bottom six role for a guy like this.
No, he'd have to develop a lot, like specifically focusing on that, which I don't really see happening.
I agree. I like it. I like it. All right. Next, so how do I say this? The next guy's last name here, Maddox.
Maddox Dagenais, I think.
That sounds yeah, with the S at the end. Next up is Maddox Dagenet. He is a center out of the Q. Played for the Quebec Remparts. What'd you see in his game? What was his overall potential there?
I had him at 70 overall, medium top nine forward.
Is
So we're
this
kind of entering a next tier of guys that are more physical and can play down the lineup.
I like this is getting broken up quite well in terms of tiers. I like how this is coming together. But yeah, talk about his game. What'd you like? What's he got to work on?
So his strengths are physicality, reverse hitting, pretty good skater for his size, pretty good shot, and high motor. And his weaknesses are overall playmaking and puck handling and offensive IQ.
You know,
He's kind of
I
a weird player, though. I watched two games on him and then his highlights. So the one game was just from earlier in the season, and he wasn't that impressive. But in the second game, he was like flying all over the place. And all the highlights, he's flying all over the place. So I don't know if it was just a bad game early in the year or something. But I definitely liked him a lot more after that second game.
yeah, I see he's coming in with a higher grade than a few of these last guys we've even put together, but the potential's maybe a bit lower.
Yeah, I think he'll probably just be a third liner.
I remembered earlier on you mentioned someone was a very good reverse hitter, and I kind of forgot who it
Yeah,
was.
it's this guy.
I'm glad we got to him because I
He
was like,
loves
man,
doing it.
that's awesome. All right, you all good on him there?
Yeah, I think so.
All right. Next up, we have Gleb Pugachev.
Pugachev, I think.
Pugachev. He is a winger, Russian slash Kazakhstan. Is that what this is here?
Yeah,
Awesome. Coming out of the
I think he's just
MHL.
Russian, but
Yeah, I'm not even gonna tell you the team he's playing for. Um, you've got him at 69 overall, medium top nine forward. I'm assuming this guy's continuing the tier foreman.
yeah, my first strength for this guy is he wants to and he will crush you against the boards.
Hell yeah.
Um, he's an extremely high motor forechecker, but he's also like smart about when to chase behind the net or when to stay in front. And he's also a pretty good skater, especially for his size. And then for weaknesses, it's just skill ceiling and overall IQ. But I think he's just going to play on a third, maybe fourth line, and everyone's going to be scared of him.
What you see is what you get.
Yeah, I would recommend watching him though. He's fun to watch.
It's honestly, if I'm at the if person I know you said philosophy is different for everybody. If my team's at the end of the first round, you're probably competing in the playoffs. You're gonna want a guy like this in a couple of years once he's, ready to go around the NHL. It sounds like a fun player. So nice. Gleb is coming in 69 overall, medium top nine forward. Also just a really good name of like a bottom six
Yeah,
guy.
definitely a good name.
I like that there. Um, next up is Liam Ruck out of the WHL. He played for the Medicine Hat Tigers, and I'm curious, are we doing Liam Ruck here, or is this kind of like a brother conversation?
This is just Liam Ruck.
Yeah, you think the other guy's definitely out of the first round?
Yeah, unless like a team reaches to get the Twins, but I think he's probably out of the first round. Especially he caught a back injury at the combine.
Yeah, not what you want.
Yeah,
I think the worst place to get injured.
yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
especially the NHL combine where like it doesn't actually matter.
yeah, yeah. It's not like you're at the not like you're running the 40 at the NFL Combine. What'd you see in Liam Ruck's game?
So I have Liam Ruckett 68 overall, medium top nine. I think his strengths are he's a pretty good shot, very high IQ, pretty good playmaker, and very high motor. But then what's going to slow him down, I think, is his overall speed and size combination. Being he's pretty small, he definitely has to put on some muscle, which could help his skating. But I think it has improved quite a bit, and his physicality, obviously, too.
Yeah, yeah. That always kind of comes with the size concerns as well.
Yeah, and then as for like his brother and him, obviously lit up the WHL. They were number one and number two in points, but the WHL isn't very good, and they have that like twin connection thing, which I think a team would be smart to draft both and try to develop them together.
That's good to hear because that was actually one of my questions I was going to ask you about him is like I watched a mock draft the other day and it's kind of trying to find a team that maybe has either two picks in the first round and is like willing to reach or someone picking at the end and also has one early. So
Yeah,
it'll be this is probably one of the more interesting storylines to watch throughout the draft as well as these two guys.
yeah. I know they were also thinking about going to college next year, but they ended up going back to Medicine Hat. But I think going to college would have really helped them, especially putting on the weight.
Agreed. Yeah, playing in that competition, 100%.
Yeah, but maybe they will after next season.
Yeah, so you think couple years, I see 68 overall for him. You think couple years before he's sniffing the NHL if he does?
Yeah, I think that's like the 3 year range. But I do think Liam has enough of like a high motor, high IQ type game that he could probably end up surviving on a third line if he puts on the weight. So that's why I have him as medium top nine.
I like it. Yeah, so there's a floor in his game is what you're saying. He's not
Yeah,
just I gotcha. All right, awesome. Next up is JP Horbert. This is American skater out of the WHL. What'd you see in him?
this is one of the three players left I have a comp for.
Ooh, like it.
It's Jack Quinn.
Love it.
Very
This
good
guy
shot, decent IQ, good playmaker. Weaknesses are defensive zone and physicality.
sounds like Jack Quinn to me. You got
He's just another of the type where he could play in a top six. Like that's the level of skill he has, but he just has enough holes in his game that I wouldn't like rank him there necessarily.
what was your potential on him here? I see 68
I had him
overall.
at 60 overall, medium top nine forward.
So you think more is this more of like a sniper power play two, but like third line winger kind of guy?
Yeah,
Okay.
but he'd be third line winger in the way like when Olafson played on the third line, not like a super high motor checker or anything.
Yeah, no, I understand the feeling, and honestly, anytime you throw a Jack Quinn comp, especially as a Sabres fan, I know exactly what you're trying to get across there. Maybe like maybe an almost inconsistent player because he's relying
Yeah,
on the shot. Good. So not to spoil it, what are your two other players you have comps on?
Sokolovsky and Ignatowicz.
Oh yeah, okay, I should have known one of them.
You know who the last one is, who the comp is. You might be able to guess who Sokolovsky's comp is, but I don't know.
I'll let you say your whole thing on him, and then I'll try and guess.
We got a few to go before we get to those guys.
True. All right. Next up is Casey Mutrin. Once again, please correct me if I'm saying any of these wrong.
Yeah, that's good.
All right, awesome. American skater. Looks like he's got some good height, good size on him. Coming out of the USNTDP. What's your potential grade and what'd you like? What does he need to work on?
I have him at 69 overall, medium top nine. He's just another future third line winger type, very physical. He's actually a pretty good playmaker, and high motor. And the weaknesses are skill ceiling and skating.
I see. So he's got good floor, but also a little bit of playmaking ability.
Yeah, he's also going to Boston College next year, so who knows? He might develop playing next to James Higgins.
That would help. Yeah. No, that's really nice. And this was not a player comp, right? I'm sorry, I kind of forgot who.
No, not for this one.
All right. Perfect. Yeah, 69 overall, medium top nine forward. And next up, the moment, ladies and gentlemen, up is Jack Hextall, center out of USHL, Youngstown Phantoms. You have him at 68, medium top nine. Is that right?
Yeah.
All right, let's hear it.
This is just another one of the guys who's very good defensively. Will probably be a third or fourth line center. So his strengths are defense and physicality, and his weaknesses are skill, ceiling, and skating. Again,
Yeah, pretty
but I think
sure.
he has a little less of the physicality and a little more skill than some of the other guys we talked about. But I still like those guys more, so I have Hextall ranked lower.
Makes sense. Yeah. It's just kind of like those other guys, maybe a little more projectable with
Yeah,
what they're good at. Yeah, honestly, I'm cool with it. It's kind of, am I correct to say this draft class, you kind of have you have two top tier guys, and then it gets interesting to like maybe like 15, and then you kind of just have two different kinds of tiers here rounding out the first round. Like
yeah, pretty much.
if you
I'd say
go,
after like command, it's all just kind of the same.
yeah. So where do we have command? Command is because I'm
21.
seeing on Twitter like after 20, big tier break. That kind of lines up with what I'm seeing. Correct me if I'm wrong. Maxim Skolowski?
Maxim Sokolovsky.
Sokolovsky. My bad. Yeah, I see where I went wrong. Defender, we have another Russian slash Kazakhstan. Love it. This guy's gigantic.
Yeah, yeah, he
Holy
is.
smokes. I didn't even see this till now. Out of the OHL, playing for the London Knights. Well, I guess I should actually say his height and weight. 6'7", 240 pounds. Ryan, let's hear about him. What's he do?
So I have him as a 67 overall, high top 6D. I think he's probably just going to be a bottom pair defender someday. This is the hardest hitter in the class, as you could probably guess.
Yeah,
So his strengths are physicality, size, defensive stick because it's 10 feet long, and he's the hardest hitter. And his weaknesses are just offensive ceiling, skating, and overall IQ.
Ryan, is this Logan Stanley?
Worse. Maybe not worse. Similar.
Same idea-ish.
It's Nikita Zadorov.
Oh, I hate Nikita Zatorov. This is 67 overall, high top 6D you had, correct?
Yeah.
Oh, was this the pro comp you had?
Yeah, Zadorov.
Nice. Okay. Yeah. And he's Russian too, right? Zadorov is?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Gigantic hits hard. That's pretty much all it was.
This guy will probably make the league because of that, though.
Yeah, I think he will.
All
He
right.
might make it in the first round.
And we've got him at 32. Yeah. That's our last. Wait. Yeah. Last projected first round pick, but we have a few names to talk about here. Nikita Sherbakov,
Yeah.
defender out of the VHL. Quite tall, but not quite heavy. What do you got on him, Ryan?
So for strengths, I have skating, physicality, decent playmaking for his size, and defensive range. And then for weaknesses, I have offensive ceiling, although he does flash sometimes, and his shot.
I'm intrigued.
So basically, he's gigantic, but he's playing in the VHL, which, as I understand it, is like the third tier of Russia. So it's a pretty bad league, but he's playing like power play one there, and he's like activating all over the place in the offensive zone. But I just don't really know if he's doing that at a higher level. But he is very tall and can skate very well for his size.
Is this better or worse than the MHL?
I think it's worse, but I'm gonna Google to make sure.
So I'm gonna be honest with you. I've very little ever heard of the VHL.
Okay, yeah. So the VHL is the KHL's AHL. and the NHL is like their junior league.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah, I mean,
So yeah, it's
this
kind of like in Sweden, where like it's basically the hockey allsvenskan of Russia.
all right. I understand it then. What was your potential for him? I see you have him at 68
I had
overall.
him at medium top 60. I think he's just less guaranteed to be an NHLer than Sokolowski is, but still a pretty good chance of being a like bottom pair, just like insulator.
If he throws on some weight, and I kind of liked some of the strengths you said, kind of could be translatable to the NHL.
Mhm.
So, okay, cool. Fun player. Anything else on him?
I'm good. You
All
guys, I didn't really spend too much time on, so it's pretty quick to go through.
right, cool. Next up is Juho Pipparainen, defender out of Liga. He played with Suvanto. Is that the right team?
Yeah.
All right, sick. What do you got on him?
So for strengths, I have jack of all trades, although most impressive defensively, good physicality, good range, and very good motor. And then for weaknesses, it's handling and offensive ceiling.
Is this a defensive defenseman here?
Yeah, defensive defenseman, but he can move the puck decently well. But yeah, I don't think he's giving you anything in the offensive zone really. So I gave him a 68 overall, medium top six as well.
All right, cool. So we're just have to redo this last one here. Ignavicius, is that right?
Ignatavicius.
All right, next up is Ignatavicius. He is a forward out of Lithuania, playing in the Swiss National League. Now, I hear you have some high praise for certain aspects of his game. What do you got, Ryan?
So I have him at 70 overall, high bottom, six forward potential. My comp for him is Zemgus Girgensons.
Love it.
Uh, so he's an excellent forward checker already. Probably ends up on a third or fourth line just because of that. The skill doesn't really pop, but he does make some nice playmaking plays sometimes, and he's just like smart positionally without the puck.
I love it. And Gergenson's made a whole career out of doing what you just said.
That he did sometimes on the first line.
You know what? Depending on the team you're on, sometimes that gets you first line minutes. That's a good point. The Swiss National League, just out of curiosity, what's the level of that there? If you
I
is it
don't fully know. I would say it's like somewhere between Liga and the German league.
okay? Just because he's the
Let me
only
see if
guy,
there's like a definitive like ranking of them.
he's the only guy in our top 36 from there. So I was just curious because
Yeah, it's like a real league, but
I'm assuming it sounds pro, right? That'd be pro.
yeah, definitely.
Nice. All right, cool. I'll let you figure that out, and then we'll divvy up our true ranking going forward here. Gentlemen, you've all been waiting for. Ryan Rubrick will be discussed. Dual scouted, 6'3", 210 pounds. Out of the OHL, the Niagara Ice Dogs. Ryan, we should have caught a game of this guy.
We should have.
What were we? I mean, we probably could next. Or is he going to college?
No, I think he's going back.
You know what, Ryan? We're gonna make it. We're gonna make it out to a Ryan Rubrick game. Yeah, this is the last guy that's dual scouted. I just randomly did a game on this guy while sitting in the back of class this semester.
He
I
did
had him.
change teams. He's on the Guelph Storm now, but I
He
think Guelph
came.
is also pretty close.
Okay, that'll play then. That'll play. All right. I had him at 67 overall, top nine medium forward. I see. I see you don't like him, Ryan. Let's hear your grade and
I
potential.
had him at 63 overall, medium top nine forward.
All right, I'm gonna let you take the lead here, and then I'm gonna provide my case.
Well, for
You got
strengths, I had good shot, decent playmaking, and good puck handling. And then for weaknesses, I have skating, pace of play, physicality for size, IQ, and motor.
that's about every aspect you need to play in the NHL.
Yep.
Let me get my write up here. Hold on. Hold on. I don't even know if I did a write up. He might just be in my overall scouting notes. Please hold. This is Anton Frundell. I'm a little mixed up here. I'm sorry. I kind of forgot I was coming back in here. You know what? We're just gonna skip over it. Ryan Rubik scored the coolest goal that I have seen while scouting anyone in this class. And I'm not talking skill, I'm talking in the moment. He scored with 1 second left before the game went to overtime, and he like slid out to center ice as the lights started flashing. It was sick. It was great. And it was just a moment that I really remembered in the back of my class, and it stuck with me. It really did. Now, everything Ryan said is most likely true, and unfortunately, you need all of those weaknesses need to be a strength if you're going to crack the NHL. So, Ryan, on an account of he did a cool thing, are you willing to go from 63 to 64 overall?
Yeah, I can do that.
I can appreciate that, Ryan. I really can. Honestly, do you want to drop the potential to like low top nine?
Yeah, we can
Yeah,
do that too.
cool with that. If you throw me the cool overall one boost, I'm willing to go down in potential here. Ryan Rubrick, you have made the draft guide though, and you've been plummeted to the bottom as I say this. But you know what? You know what? Who's a player comp, Ryan? I'm gonna figure this out right now, as Zoom tells me I have 8 minutes. Who is a guy that's really not a good player but did something really cool once in the NHL? We have a lot of options
Ooh,
to pick from. This is when Linus Omar
I
scored
was
the.
about to say Linus Mark. That's insane.
We're throwing a Linus. Here's the thing.
I
If
wouldn't compare him to Linus Mark, but as a player who did one cool thing and nothing else.
right, I know not even stylistically, but because we were both about to say it, Linus Omark one hit is one hit wonder comp. How about that? All right, I'm gonna just move on here. Next